side of 6th Avenue North in order to do so. No smoking or tobacco use of any kind will be permitted in the grandstand or at or near any or at or near any entry or exit gates. Thank you for your cooperation. Pick up a LumberKings souvenir program, and inside there's information about the LumberKings and up-to-date statistics. Souvenir programs are available near the Lumberyard Studios.
Good evening, folks. For the third time this season, we're back here at Nelson Core Field, and for the fifth time in the past 2 weeks, the normal CornBelters are set to take on the Clinton LumberKings. Now, both teams are coming in. They have not played a lot over the past week especially. So the CornBelters have had 4 consecutive days off after playing 11 games in the span of 10 days. A couple rainouts, including a rainout between these two teams just a couple days ago, which was supposed to be back at the Corn Crib. And the LumberKings are coming off of a doubleheader sweep yesterday. They got swept by the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp, and that included a game that was suspended back in the first half, but picked up only in the third inning. I'm Evan Schmeiser, folks. It's a privilege, as always, to be bringing you the action on the CornBelters and Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. It's a picture-perfect early evening just across the Mississippi River here in Clinton, Iowa. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Easily the sunniest day we've had out of all 3 times we've been here. Owen Puck is on the mound for the LumberKings, and we'll take a look at the CornBelter lineup. Tarek Thompson-Allen leads off, and he's red hot. Tyler Castro in the second hole. Will Jeske will be the designated hitter tonight, batting third. Judah Morris, he settles into the cleanup spot. Zach Zykowski hits fifth. Austin Wiegand in the 6th spot. Griffin Brown will bat 7th. Chris Zahusky will be doing the catching tonight, hitting 8th. And Eddie Letamendi will be the 9th man, as has been his role at the shortstop position. And we'll take a look at the starter for the LumberKings, Owen Puck. He is a long, lanky, 6'5" right-hander. He has an older brother that's actually pitched in the big leagues for 5 years. Came up with the Oakland A's and has spent the last couple years with the Marlins. As Puck finishes up his warm-up pitches, Thompson-Allen will walk his way up to the plate. Just the 4th appearance for Puck, his 2nd start. He's only gone 6 innings, a 7.50 ERA. 10 strikeouts over that span to go with a couple walks. Thompson-Allen set to go. Puck out of the stretch exclusively. And the first pitch tonight is on the outside corner for a called strike. 6:30 Central Standard Time and even 80 degrees here in Clinton. It's been muggy and just very wet for the better part of a week as Thompson-Allen takes outside a ball and a strike the count. 61% humidity right now. It was right around 90% humidity back in normal, at least when I got up in the morning to do my run. As Puck set with the 1-1 pitch, lined off the end of the bat foul to the left side, as it snuck its way into the grandstands. Another old ballpark. This park was built in 1937. A lot of years as a minor league stadium. You have the netting that goes all the way around to the mid part of both dugouts, so you can get a ball as the next pitch misses just outside to Thompson-Allen, 2 balls, 2 strikes. You have the overhanging grandstands that sit right on top of the field, and right at the edge of the netting where the grandstands end, you do have some small openings. As Puck set at the belt, the 2-2 pitch, swung on and bounced high towards the middle. It's off the glove of the shortstop. Rafe Peterson kicks out to the second baseman, Womack. No play at first. Thompson-Allen aboard to lead off the ball game. That'll probably go down as the 8th error of the year on Peterson, but that play just gets far tougher. As time is called, it looks like Thompson-Allen's having some trouble taking his batting gloves off. There we go. As he hands them over to the first base coach, Ron Juris, and takes his spot. Tyler Castro will settle into the left-handed box. So 8th error of the year for Rafe Peterson. Would have been a tough play no matter what, but a play that you definitely want to make. First pitch left away to throw over to Thompson-Allen, who dives back safely. Tarek comes in, stealing 19 consecutive bags. He was caught his very first stolen base attempt of the year. Hasn't been so since. As he inches off of first. Puck on the far first base side. There goes Thompson-Allen. Pitch taken for a strike. The throw down is way offline towards the shortstop side. Corralled by Peterson. Thompson-Allen steals his 20th consecutive bag. He already came into play, 6th in the league in stealing bases. 0-1 the count now to Castro, who's standing right on top of the plate with the open stance. Chance for the CornBelters to manufacture a run with nobody out. And here is the pitch. Misses a little low as it popped in and out of the glove of Byron Blaze. Blaze, a very recent signing for the LumberKings. As I mentioned earlier in the season, the first time we were here, both of their main catchers got injured in the same game. So Noah Thine was upgraded to the primary catcher as Castro swings and misses, a ball and 2 strikes. And they've kind of gone through at least a bit of a revolving door with the current backup catcher. So the responsibility falls to Blaze, who's now 2 for 10 in throwing out would-be base stealers. 2-2 the count to Castro as puck comes set. Castro awaits. And the pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Some good life on that fastball, tailing to the outer half to the lefty. First punch out of the night, 1 out in the top of the first. As Will Jeske will dig in, we'll take a look at the LumberKings defensively. Jalen Martinez, Clay Jacobs, R.J. Sherwood left to right. Brian Bello, Rafe Peterson, Chase Womack, Connor Justy, third to first. Byron Blaze behind the plate, and of course, Owen Puck on the mound, who is set at the belt. And he goes home. The pitch misses down and in. Jeske, the DH tonight. He went 2 for 4 with a double at O'Fallon, that coming 5 days ago. The most recent game the CornBelters have played amidst this 4-day layoff. Also, Jeske's third game back after spending a week at home. Here's the 1-0 pitch, trickled foul at home. I was able to talk to Will just about spending a little time at home. Of course, it's relaxing. He had the chance to recharge, but he had 1 day at home at the end of his season with Nebraska before he joined up with the CornBelters. But before that, the last time he visited home was Christmas time. And Thompson Allen's picked off. Puck throws over the third. Terry now heading back to second, and he's in there safely. The throw from Bello almost went over Chase Womack's head. So Puck did an inside move to turn around on Thompson Allen, who I guess was going to run on the pitch. Puck threw to Bello at third, probably a little sooner than you would have wanted. I know you have to deal with the speed, but you want to run at the player. And then not enough time for Bello to throw back to second. So a break for the CornBelters. The 1-1 pitch is right off the ribs of Jeske. You can hear the thud from up here, but he's all right as he trots briskly up to first. And that puts men on first and second with 1 out. Judah Morris will be the hitter. Morris 3 for 11 in his first 4 games in a CornBelter uniform. He did a homer and double in the back-to-back games at Springfield. It's a guy with a very quick swing and some big-time power for the 6'3", 245-pound right-hander. And the pitch from Puck is grounded slowly to the left of the mound. Puck up with it. He throws over the first in time to get Morris, who is not the quickest guy in the world getting up the line. So both runners advance. Thompson Allen to third, Jeske to second. Pretty good play from Puck. And now 2 outs. Zykowski will be the hitter. Zach has hit safely in 5 straight, 7 of his last 8 overall. Hitting .310 with 13 RBIs, no home runs. Well, a base hit should score 2. Jeske runs fairly okay at second. And the first pitch to the right-hander, late swing and hit foul to the screen. Outfielders are playing fairly deep, respecting the gap-to-gap power of Zykowski. The center fielder, Jacobs, is way over towards right. A hit should score 2. As Thompson Allen gets a running start down the line, and the 0-1 pitch is up and in. Let's see, the radar gun in right center, it's not reading a whole lot of the pitches coming home. It's actually reading more of the throws from the catcher back to the pitcher. Puck on the far first base side of the rubber, set at the belt, a deep breath, And the 1-1 pitch. Curveball misses outside. The CornBelters on the first base dugout, green tops and gray bottoms. And the LumberKings actually wearing their Halotes Giants jerseys tonight in the all-white on the third base side. 2-1 the count to Zykowski as puck is set, with men on second and third and 2 outs. And the pitch misses outside. Now 3-1 the count. Well, Zykowski does like to get his arms extended. I would imagine he's looking for a fastball out over the plate. Puck, who's slowed down the pace now. Here's the 3-1. Way up and in, nearly got away from the catcher Blaze. It's ball 4 to Zykowski, and that'll load the bases with 2 outs. The second free pass of the inning for Puck to go with the hit-by-pitch to Jeski. And that brings up Austin Wiegand. Wiegand did not play in the previous game at O'Fallon. He did have a double and triple against Alton nearly a week ago in that 14-2 victory over the River Dragons at home. And the first pitch to him misses up high. All of a sudden, Puck fighting his command a bit. Who's only walked a couple guys, albeit only 6 innings. I guess you can't get the best idea from that. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Up and outside, off the glove of Blaze, but not far enough for Thompson Allen to try to score. Tarek at third as time is called on the field. Jeski at second, and Zykowski at first. And time is called. Out comes the manager, Jack Dahm, to the mound. Blaze out there too. Trying to just settle down his starter. These have been some really bad misses. That's the third or fourth pitch, missing way up and in towards the right-handed batter's box. Possibly saw something mechanic-wise too that he's trying to relay to Owen. Hardly a breeze to speak of at the ballpark. The flag in left field barely moving a muscle. But all the rain, though, coming from the other side of the Mississippi River on the Illinois side, quite a bit of flooding. But right now, the weather is pristine. As the meeting concludes, also, this is by far the lightest bug day on the field that we've had here in Clinton. First 2 times out here, the bugs were miserable. As the next pitch is bounced back to the box, Puck up with it, jogs at halfway to first, an underhand flip in time to retire Wiegand. So the CornBelters do leave the bases loaded. Puck able to work around the error and a couple free passes. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Drake Downing will take the hill, and we'll see the LumberKings swing it for the first time.
Keep your eyes on the ball. The LumberKings player has won several rounds.
Back for the bottom of the first. No score between the CornBelters and LumberKings. Drake Downing draws the start tonight for Normal. His 5th appearance, all of them starts. 0-2 in 15 2/3 innings, a .574 ERA. He has averaged a little over 2 base runners each inning. He's allowed 20 hits overall. The walks are really what you have to keep an eye on. 12 walks in 15 2/3. That's definitely more than you would prefer to see. His last outing came a week ago, the first of the 2 games at the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. He went the first 4 innings, allowed 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 3 hits. to go with 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. I was talking to Nick, actually, Nick Roseman, the bullpen coach, before the game, and he's been doing a good amount of math for each pitcher in nearly every game to get their strike-ball ratio. And he doesn't have the exact numbers as far as wins and losses are concerned, but when the starter, or at least the predominant pitchers on that given night, when they throw at least 60% strikes, it's been a lot more wins than losses. As Downing finishes up his warm-up pitches, we'll see how that trend looks tonight, especially with some of the struggles to throw strikes on the road. Clay Jacobs will lead it off. Chase Womack will bat second, followed by Jalen Martinez. Brian Bello hits cleanup. R.J. Sherwood in the 5th hole. Rafe Peterson hits 6th. Carson Grout to be the designated hitter. Connor Giusti hits 8th, and Byron Blaze, the catcher, will round it out hitting 9th. Right on left, the matchup, as Downing, the 5'10 right-hander out of Maryville University, is set. And he goes home out of the windup. First pitch, 2-seamer on the outside corner. Came in at 81. That ball had a lot of life on it. It almost looked like a changeup. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Lined out to play foul down the left field line. So a couple good fastballs from Downing, aggressive to Jacobs to start. Clay had an 0 for 11 stretch that carried into the second half, 6 for 20 since. As he's behind 0-2, he chokes up on the bat a little. All the infielders playing all the way back. Zykowski pretty deep at third. And the 0-2 pitch, carve ball, dribbled up the first base line. Morris up with it, and he'll touch first base himself. 3 unassisted for the putout. 1 away, and that brings up Chase Womack. And we'll take a look at the CornBelters defensively. Griffin Brown, Tarek Thompson-Allen, Austin Wiegand left to right. Zach Zykowski, Eddie Letamendi, Tyler Castro, Judah Morris, Chris Sahusky doing the catching tonight. And Drake Downey, of course, on the mound. And, of course, Zykowski to Morris going third to first. A deep breath from Downing as he delivers to Womack, and it misses low. Chase has only played in 2 of the last 8 games for the LumberKings. He went 0 for 3 in Game 2 of the doubleheader loss to Illinois Valley yesterday. As Downing delivers low again, 2-0 the count. With the rain out against us a couple days ago, the LumberKings schedule turned into kind of a separated 4-game series against the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. They won the first game and lost the previous 3. As Downing deals just a little outside, 3-0 the count. Got swept in the doubleheader yesterday. In Game 2, Clinton lost 9-0 with only 2 hits to show. Here's the 3-0 pitch from Downing. On the outside corner for a called strike. Felt like he took a little off of that one. Pitcher's call, too, from the home plate umpire Brett Swalve. Scott Titrington on first, and Kevin Ferris making the calls at third. Here's the 3-1 pitch. On the outside corner again. The radar gun read 88 on that one. Downing does have one of the better arms that we've seen here in the Prospect League. Here's the 3-2 pitch with 1 out. Curveball swung on and missed. Nasty breaker going down and in to Womack. First punch out of the night for Drake. 2 up, 2 down in the first. And that'll bring up Jalen Martinez. Martinez only had 3 plate appearances across the doubleheader yesterday. This is a LumberKings team that carries a lot of position players. Easily the most unique roster that I've seen in the league as far as that's concerned. And the first pitch to him is swung on and lifted out of play foul to the right and over the grandstand roof. The way it ends up working out, it's a very different lineup almost every night. And most position players end up playing every other game, sometimes every third game, depending on the schedule. Curveball from Downing misses up and in. A ball and a strike the count, no score, 2 outs, the base is clear in the bottom of the first. Martinez, also a guy who stands way off the plate in the right-handed box, and with an open stance. Here's the 1-1 from Downing. Up and in, 2-1 the count, as Drake kind of spun himself around after delivering that pitch. Much sparser crowd tonight at Nelson Core Field. Works out for me. I'm able to keep my door to the side open to get some more fresh air. And the 2-1 pitch is just inside. That one looked to have some cutting action. It was much harder than the curveball. It looked more like a cutter to me than a slider. Now 3-1 the count to Martinez. And here it is. That missed way inside. It might have gotten a piece of Martinez. It looks like that's what the home plate umpire Brett Suave is signaling. Either way, it's a 2-out base runner. And that brings up the cleanup man, Brian Bello. Bello, the third baseman tonight, 2 for 4 in Game 1 yesterday. Did not play in Game 2. Yep, it looks like Martinez was hit by the pitch, or at least that's what the live stats are indicating. And the first pitch is down and away by Bello, blocked by Sahusky. One 1-0 the count as Downing comes set. A pretty good lead for Martinez at first. This is a Clinton team that does not run a lot. Next one misses high. Well, kind of similar to Puck in the first, Downing is now fighting his command. He's fallen behind each of the previous 3 hitters. He was able to come back from down 3-0 to retire Womack on strikes. And then he just put Martinez on with a hit by pitch. And the next offering is outside. Snap throw to first, not in time, as Martinez dives in safely. It's now 3-0. 3 consecutive 3-ball counts. This is the CornBelter team that comes in 6-14 on the road, despite dominating at home, 17-18 overall. As Downing is set at the belt, but a close stance, the 3-0 pitch misses in the dirt. Second straight batter that Downing has put on. As Sahusky calls time, he's going to go talk to his battery mate. Judah Morris also coming in. RJ Sherwood will be the hitter. It's something that's just, it's hard for any of us to explain. Now, according to Nick, it's not really any mechanic issue as far as the command issues are concerned across the pitching staff. And shockingly, the CornBelters are actually just middle of the pack in total walks issued, which is kind of alarming for me to think about how many walks that a lot of other teams issue. And granted, I've been on the air for some of them, some games with major walks. As the meeting concludes, Sherwood will bat. Jalen Martinez at second, getting hit by a pitch. Brian Bello at first, just walking a second ago. The CornBelters are playing the righty Sherwood to pull. Morris is way off the bag at first. And the first pitch to the righty is swung on, fouled right off the shin of Sherwood. He's not wearing any protective brace. He's up on his feet, and he's going to take a ginger walk around. Yeah, that one hurt. He went down right away. He only stayed down for a couple seconds, as now RJ picks up his bat. Fortunately, he seems to be all right. The flag in left, now blowing a little more strongly. Breeze seems to be blowing just a little out to right. There's a lot of room in the alleyway in right center. The left fielder, Griffin Brown, is actually pretty far off the line. And now Tarek Thompson-Allen just moved a few steps into the left center field alleyway. Sherwood digging back in. He went 3 for 8 in both games yesterday against Illinois Valley. Downing comes set ahead 0-1, no score, 2 outs in the first. And he goes home. Curveball misses up and in. He doesn't quite have the release point on that pitch right now. It's a few times now he's missed inside to the righties with it. He got a quick out on Jacobs, the leadoff man, and then he set down Womack to start the inning. Dangerous spot now, first and second, 2 outs, as Martinez danced off a second. Swung on and foul-tipped into the glove of Sahusky. Good sign for Downing. He's ahead 1-2. See if we can try and work out of this first. The third baseman, Zykowski, is shaded towards the line, playing deep. The second baseman, Castro, holding the runner at second. That's Martinez, who has a much shorter lead now. And the 1-2 pitch is a little low. Zykowski at third started running off the field, but it didn't look like Sahusky received that pitch as well as he could have to make it look good. 2-2 the count now with 2 outs. Downing set to go, who has slowed it down. Checks second twice and deals. That one's a little low. So the fourth consecutive 3-ball count that Downing is working to a LumberKing hitter. He's really dancing with trouble. And granted, as many guys as the CornBelter pitching staff has put on, they've worked out of a lot of the jams. Drake hoping he can do that right here. As he comes set, the runners will be off, but the count full and 2 outs. Here's the pitch, the runners go, and it's fouled straight back. So everybody will go back to their spot. Fortunately, with the 4 days off, the CornBelter bullpen is very well rested. There's about 6 or 7 of the guys just lounging out there in the shade, thanks to the visiting clubhouse building down the right field line. Bullpens are on the field here. The 3-2 pitch is just inside. That did not miss by much. That's the third free pass of the inning, though, issued by Downing. Now that could have gone either way. Drake did miss his spot. Sahusky was set towards the outer part of the plate and then moved his glove back inside. As time is called, here comes the manager, Billy DuBois. The entire infield will come in as they try to work out of this first. Still no score. Rafe Peterson is the hitter. But when you're just not around the plate, and this is a very common theme, you're a lot less likely to get those borderline pitches when you already miss your spot to begin with. Well, Billy stood right on top of the mound for a second. That was a very short and slightly more animated looking conversation as Billy walks off. Perhaps this is one of those more aggressive conversations to get the right-hander Downing back in sync. We'll see if it works. Peterson is 0 for his last 9. He did hit his first homer of the season 5 days ago at Illinois Valley. Downing out of the windup goes home, and the pitch is swung on and missed. An aggressive fastball, virtually center cut. So maybe that was a little bit of what Billy was talking about. Just trying to be aggressive. Wraith, the right-hander, awaits, and the 0-1 is downstairs. Wraith going with no batting gloves. And he actually goes to sprinkle some dirt on both of his hands. He's going with a closed stance, too, in the right-handed box. Martinez at third, Bello at second, and Sherwood at first. Each drawing free passes with 2 outs. And the 1-1 is a little up and in. So right now, Brett Suave is not giving Downing that pitch. I have a pretty good view. I'm just a bit off to the first base side of the plate, but it is a pretty good view. I thought they were pretty good pitches. 2-1 the count with 2 outs, the base is juiced. And the pitch from Downing is swung on and popped up out of play foul. Downing went with the breaking ball. Oh, let's see what he goes with here. Each of the past 2 nights, or the past 2 games we've played at Clinton, the LumberKings were able to get aboard in the first and actually put up crooked numbers early. A deep breath from Drake as he goes home with the 2-2. Up and in. Another full count. So make that 5 straight 3-ball counts. I don't know if Drake's trying to nibble right now or if it's a mechanic issue. He's missed with a few pitches on the inner half. He's not commanding the inside part of the plate at all. His best pitches have come on the outer half. Here's the 3-2. The runners go, and it's downstairs. So a run's going to be forced across. The 4th free pass of the inning issued by Drake Downing. He's up to 25 pitches now. It's 1-0 Clinton. And mind you, this is a CornBelter team. Although they won their previous road game 9-7 at Springfield, able to win that one late, this is a team that has really struggled on the road. Just recently snapping a 7-game road losing streak. As Carson Grout, the DH, will bat, and he takes a little outside. Grout, a left-handed hitter, and Downing missed that pitch in a very similar spot that he's been missing towards the right-handed box. Nibbling at that part of the plate right now, as now he's ready with the 1-0. The LumberKings have already scored once, and that one's on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Downing actually over 30 pitches now. Took a little longer for the live stats to update it. 1-1 the count with 2 outs. Bello at third, Sherwood at second, and Peterson at first. And the pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 2. And there is action in the CornBelter bullpen. It's a righty throwing. And that's the last thing that a CornBelter faithful would want, is somebody to have to get up in the first. 1-2 the count and the pitch. Outside for ball 2. Downing tried to run a curveball back over. Let's see if I can find the ball-strike ratio on this page. So 19 balls and 12 strikes. Yeah, that's definitely not the ratio you want. Here's the 2-2. Misses upstairs. So that's the 6th consecutive 3-ball count. And with a few of these hitters, Downing has been working ahead, but then he's starting to get cute, and he's missing with curveballs, and he starts nibbling towards that same part of the plate. So he doesn't have that aggression right now. And the 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The second punch out of the inning, Downing and the CornBelters fortunate to work out of that inning, only allowing the 1. And it took nearly 35 pitches for Drake. So we'll head to the top of the second. The LumberKings put up a run thanks to 4 free passes. Well, I'd say we're grooving to the top of the second, although it did take a while. I didn't exactly have a stopwatch for the bottom of the first, where the LumberKings ended up putting one across, but it's 7:03 Central Time now, and we did start the game right on time. Griffin Brown, Chris Sahusky, and the ninth man, Letamendi, will bat. Puck back on the mound as he deals the first pitch to Griffin downstairs for a ball. Well, let's see how sharp Puck is. He had to sit for a while. He did leave the bases loaded in the first after hitting a batter and walking a guy. And the 1-0 pitch to Griffin swung on off the end of the bat, a roller to second, takes a weird hop on Chase Womack, and just in time to retire Brown. That took a wicked bounce off the lip of the grass. So Brown retired. It brings up the catcher Chris Sahusky. We're back at the scene of the crime. 2 weeks ago, the first time we came to Nelson Core Field this season, Sahusky came off the bench to pinch hit in a game that was virtually decided late. And the first pitch ended up hitting him right in the back of the head. He swings the first one and towers it to right center. Clay Jacobs does some dancing out there and puts it away. The ball carried pretty well out to right center, although very deep in the alleyways. Sahusky retired. Anyway, Chris ended up missing a week because of mild concussion symptoms. But he's back in the lineup, and he's actually had the lion's share of the playing time ever since he did return in the Springfield miniseries. 2 outs, the base is clear, and Letamendi will bat. And he takes the first pitch on the outside corner. Oh, give credit to Puck. He's come out this inning firing strikes to the bottom third. Letamendi is 0 for his last 8 after having a nice little hot stretch in the early part of the second half and finishing the first half way outside 1-1. LumberKings leading the CornBelters 1-0, 2 outs, the base is clear, top of the second. CornBelters trying to move above 500 in the second half, coming in 3-3. And the 1-1 pitch misses outside. As Letamendi steps out to gather himself, now he'll dig back in. CornBelters come into play 2 games behind the Rex baseball. Oh, boys, Letamendi swings and fouls that right off his left shin. He's down on the ground right now in front of home plate, holding that shin. Thompson Allen out to check on him. Here comes Billy DuBois. Here comes what I assume would be an athletic trainer as well for Clinton. Let's see. Eddie's now doing kind of a downward dog motion. He's back up on his feet, which is a very good sign, to put it lightly. He does not wear a shin guard. Josh Foreman, the third base coach, also in. Everybody's right around home plate. Letamendi just fouled a pitch right off, I would assume, be the bony part of his front shin. And that always hurts. That hurts no matter what. So good to see that he's up. And I assume right now it's a question of how much pain he's able to tolerate. So he's taking a little walk right now. The first few steps were very gingerly, but now he's walking a lot more normally. His gait is looking a lot better. So he took his glasses off, puts them back on. He grabs the bat from Thompson Allen, and Eddie's going to stay in the game, which is great to see. That's going to be one heck of a bruise tomorrow, though. He's going to want some ice at the conclusion of this one. Eddie, who has rarely missed a game out at short. His offense has steadily improved throughout the summer, but he's been a rock in the field. And the 2-2 pitch from Puck misses up and inside. Now 3-2 the count. Anyway, as I was saying before, the CornBelters trail Rex baseball a couple games in the Central Division. They trail the Dans by 1 game, but that doesn't matter since Danville won the first half. The 3-2 with 2 outs is swung on and missed. Second punch out of the night for Puck. 3 up, 3 down go the CornBelters in the second. We'll go to the bottom half. Clinton leading normal 1-0. We're back for the bottom of the second, 1-0 LumberKings. As Downing finishes up his warm-up pitches, he'll do it the 8 and 9 hitters, Connor Giusti and Byron Blaze, than the top. It took Drake 37 pitches to work through the bottom of the first. After retiring the first 2 hitters, he issued 4 consecutive free passes, a hit batter, and 3 walks that led to a run. Fortunate it wasn't worse than that, but he tries to settle in now, dealing with Giusti. First pitch, right back to the box. He snares it down, an awkward toss to first. Morris, I guess it took him a while to get over there. He had to dig it out of the dirt, and then he touches the bag. So a bizarre first pitch out here in the second. It was a hot shot on a hop back to Downing on the mound, and he flagged it down, and I guess Judah was playing pretty deep at first because it took him a long time to get to the bag, and then Downing kind of lollipopped a one-hopper over there. Byron Blaze the hitter, right on right the matchup, and Downing deals down and in. 88 on that heater. Byron just his 4th game behind the plate this summer with Clinton. He made his debut 9 days ago on July 2nd, and the 1-0 pitch out of the windup misses high. 4 for 11 overall, with an extra base hit to his credit and a couple RBIs. 1 out in the second, 2-0 to Blaze the catcher. A deep breath from Drake, and he goes home. And he gets the call on the inside corner. Possibly a generous call from the home plate umpire Suave, just because he wasn't really awarding that pitch in the first. Drake was trying to hit that spot a lot on the inner half to righties. There's a good slider on the inside corner. Blaze steps out. Fooled on that one. Blaze out of John Wood Community College. The 2-2 pitch with 1 out is swung on and missed. Downing did hang that breaking ball, but he was able to fool Blaze nonetheless. 3rd strikeout of the night for Downing, and that brings up the leadoff man, Jacobs. Clay bounced out to first to open the ball game. 2 outs, the base is clear, 1-0 LumberKings. And about 45 minutes before first pitch, I actually ran into Clay Jacobs' mom, Andrea. The Jacobs family made the trip out here. They drove 7 hours from Ohio. And first she asked me if I was Andres, the LumberKings broadcaster. Supposedly she got a tip that we looked alike. First pitch check swing doesn't matter, called a strike to Clay. Now mind you, we look nothing alike. There is a large difference in body composition and height and skin tone as well. The 0-1 pitch with 2 outs is on the outside corner for a called strike. But anyhow, she brought cookies. And I was able to flag down Andres, who was walking on the concourse. Andres was pleasantly surprised as well to have a visitor. And then he got a cookie. I did not get a cookie, but I wasn't going to be rude and ask one. They weren't meant for me. Curveball misses down and in. A ball and 2 strikes. I do enjoy those little happenings. I'd call it the game within the game, but that wouldn't exactly be the right description. Downing set, 1-2 the count to the left-hander Jacobs. And the pitch is up and away. Looked like he tried another breaking ball. Although his command has been better here in the second, he does not have the feel for that slider cutter towards the outer part of the plate to lefties. 2-2 the count now. A long hold for Drake, and now he deals a little upstairs. That looked like a pretty good pitch to me. I don't know if Suave didn't like the way Sahusky brought it back down. I can see up and down pretty well. It's not perfect. Borderline. Here's the 3-2. That one's lined on a couple hops past the second baseman, Castro, into right for a hit. The ball just died in the grass before Thompson Allen picked it up. It's the first hit of the night for either side, and a 2-out base runner for the LumberKings. That ball had some funky spin going out to second. Castro had no chance to go after it. The grass does look pretty thick in the outfield, and really thick in that grass behind home plate in foul territory. Womack the hitter, right on left the matchup. Downing set and a throw over the first. Diving back without a tag is Jacobs. Clay has stolen 2 bags this summer. He's also been caught twice. Well, he has a good lead, and he kind of looks runnerish the way he's floating out there. He does not go. The pitch is off the hands out to short. Letamendi charges, throws on the run in time to retire Womack. Good play by Eddie. I did mention earlier he's been a rock out there. So Downing allows a hit but leaves 1. And we're through 2 full. 1-0 LumberKings. As we move to the top of the third here in Clinton, top of the order coming up for the CornBelters. So we'll see how they're able to do second time around with Owen Puck on the mound. Tarek Thompson-Allen reached on an error by the shortstop Rafe Peterson his first time up. He was stranded at third. The CornBelters left the bases loaded in the first, went down 1-2-3 in the second. First pitch swinging is Thompson-Allen, and he grounds it foul towards the CornBelter bullpen. Oh, Nick Roseman. I'm sorry, buddy. I see you holding the phone. I know you listen, especially to the away game broadcast with it being on YouTube. It was a great one-handed attempt. He juggled it 3 times, but wasn't able to make the play. As Puck misses way inside on the next one, down by the feet of Thompson-Allen. But you know, I tell you what, the ball kicked off the tarp down there, and Nick really squared it up nicely. So that ball wasn't going to get by him. Back towards the middle, off the glove of Puck. It trickles out to the second baseman, Womack. Off-balance throw, not in time. It actually pulled the first baseman, Juicy, off the bag. That'll be an infield hit for Thompson-Allen. Womack would have had no chance to go after that ball if not for Puck getting a glove on it. That ball was hit hard. So for the second time tonight, Thompson-Allen aboard to lead off an inning. So he takes off his batting gloves and his wrist protectors, elbow guard. He puts on his base running glove on the left hand, and there's his oven mitt on the right hand. And the first pitch to Castro is swung on and missed. Tarek is still trying to put the straps on the oven mitt. So the regular glove on the left hand, but the oven mitt on the right hand. Puck set on the far first base side of the belt. And a throw over the first. No tag applied as Thompson-Allen goes back in diving. Tarek did steal his 20th consecutive bag in the first. Well, we'll see if he opts to run on Blaze again. 0-1 the count and another throw over. Low throw, but Juicy able to dig it out. No limits on step-offs or pick-off attempts here in the college ranks. Castro is right on top of home plate with that open stance in the left-handed box. A long hold. Thompson-Allen flinched towards second but dives back into first safely. He was looking to run on that one. Tarek was also caught off the bag at second, looking to steal third. He got on a rundown, but the LumberKings were not able to execute. So some good old-fashioned baseball with a pitcher and man on first. Next one is grounded slowly towards first, foul. Actually towards the CornBelter dugout. 1-2 the count now to Castro. 1-0 LumberKings, no outs in the top of the third. Thompson Allen at first. The right fielder, R.J. Sherwood, is nearly at the warning track. He is very deep in right. The 1-2 pitch, the runner goes, pitches outside. The throw from his knees is nowhere near in time by Blaze. Thompson Allen steals his second bag of the night, his 21st consecutive. And the pitch was way up and outside. It resembled a pitch out, but Blaze received it on his knees. It was definitely not a called pitch out. That was a big-time jump, though, from Thompson Allen. Boy, can he fly. And he really does know what he's doing out there. And the next pitch misses outside to Castro. 90 on the heater from Puck. He ramped that one up. 2-2 the count with no outs and a man on second. Well, see if the CornBelters can try and manufacture something here. They were not able to come through in what was a similar situation in the first. Castro struck out looking his first time up. He swings and misses at the breaking ball. It caught a lot of the plate. Castro down on strikes for the second time tonight. The third strikeout for Puck. And that brings up Will Jeske. Jeske hit by a pitch. A fastball right off the ribs, his only time up. Right on right the matchup. Thompson Allen still looms at second. CornBelters looking to get on the board. And the first pitch to him is grounded to the right side. The second baseman, Womack, up with it. Another tough hop for him in time to first. Chase was keeping Thompson Allen close at second, so he had to come a long way to corral that slow roller. And with that extra hop off the dirt, it's been some weird bounces out there. Tarek up the third, now with 2 outs. And Judah Morris will be the hitter. Judah grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. Shadows are fully covering the right side of the infield and all of the grass, and a curveball misses outside. I guess with the combination of the way the grandstand roof is, even that first pitch with the sun fully out, shadows weren't much of an issue. Up and in with a fastball, 2-0 the count. 93 according to the radar gun. Well, Puck is letting it fly right now. Although that last pitch wasn't remotely close. As Morris digs in a little closer to the plate as he waves the bat behind his head. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and hit well down the right field line. Sherwood gives it a look, and it'll slice foul. Pretty good swing that time from Morris. Judah, the all-Missouri Valley honorable mention. He was an extra base machine for Illinois State. As he digs back in with a 2-1 count. Looking to tie the game at 1 here in the top of the third with 2 outs. Puck set and goes home. Swing and a miss at a curve. That was a sharp one from Puck. That might have been his best of the night. No runs, a hit, no errors for the CornBelters, a run on a single hit for the LumberKings with 1 error. And the 2-2 pitch is at the knees for a called strike 3. Morris visibly upset with the call. It looked like for a second he was going to start to draw a line, but he made a different motion. I thought that pitch was low, especially with how big he is. But Morris walks off to the dugout. It's the 4th strikeout of the night for Puck. And for the second time tonight, he leaves a man at third. We'll head to the bottom of the third. The LumberKings still leading 1-0. Welcome back for the bottom of the third between the CornBelters and LumberKings. I'm Evan Schmeiser, folks. Already, this game's a lot different than each of the first four matchups these guys have faced off. It's been a tale of whoever the heck is the home team. So both of these squads have outscored the opposition. Also, the home team has gone undefeated in the first four matchups between these two squads. And they've outscored the away team by a score of 36-8. That's pretty one-sided, as Downing misses inside to the third batter, Jalen Martinez. Jalen was hit by a pitch his only at bat, ended up scoring the only run in the first. Right now, nobody's been hitting the ball all over the ballpark by any means, as the next pitch misses in the dirt. There's nobody throwing in the CornBelter bullpen now. We've seen a right-hander on a couple occasions get up to throw. Downing is already, he started the inning at 50 pitches, so now up to 52 through 2+, thanks to a 37-pitch first. The 2-0 curveball is way up and inside and nearly got a piece of Martinez. Downing issued 4 free passes in the first. He was able to work a clean second, only allowing a base hit. But a 3-0 count now, and Downing goes home, and the pitch is called a strike. Wasn't sure if Swalve behind the plate would reward Downing with that one. 3-1 the count now to Martinez. As Downing goes home, the next one misses upstairs. So that'll be the 4th walk of the night issued by Drake. 5 free passes overall. And again, I'm raised up a little bit, albeit nowhere near as high as I am at the corn crib, but some of these pitches up in the zone don't look terrible. Granted, it could be a little higher than I actually thought, because the Husky did not make any attempt to try to bring that one down. So the CornBelters look to turn 2, as Martinez inches off. Downing set. The runner does not go, and the pitch is down low. Well, right on cue, a right-hander is up and throwing again in the CornBelter bullpen. It's a rested bullpen, but nobody wants to have to get somebody up in the third. Granted, we had him up in the first. And the 1-0 delivery misses upstairs again. I don't know if it's because Downing doesn't have as much confidence dealing with the top or middle of the lineup, and this has been a trend at times with the majority of CornBelter pitchers, even with guys who didn't walk a whole lot of batters during the regular season. The 2-0 pitch is grounded foul towards third, and a pretty good play by the coach down there. Now 2-1 the count with nobody out. LumberKings lead 1-0 bottom of the third. You have Martinez at first. Jalen, who's stolen 2 bags this summer. Again, the LumberKings don't run a lot, but there he goes. The pitch taken for a strike. The throw down to second is going to be late. Jalen Martinez steals his 3rd bag of the summer. Now 2-2 the count. And over the course of the season, you have been able to run on Sahusky. He's now 5 for 61, throwing out would-be base stealers. So now 2-2 the count as Martinez takes a very short lead off of second. Castro, the second baseman, keeping him close. Morris is way off the bag again, playing Bello to pull just like last time. And the 2-2 pitch is lined foul to the right, high off the grandstand facing. The right-hander continues to throw in the CornBelter pen. Understandably so, nobody up for the LumberKings. Downing has eclipsed the 60 pitch mark. So you wonder how long he'll have. The right fielder Wiegand playing pretty shallow. Downing set, checks the runner once, and he spins around to check Martinez a little closer. No throw to second. As Bello waves the bat through the zone a couple times as both guys come set. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That swung on and hit out to right field. It's pretty well hit. Wiegand gets turned around for a second, but he's able to make the running grab a couple steps shy of the track. Martinez tags and goes to third. The throw comes into the cutoff man. Well, the ball's carrying pretty well tonight. We haven't had a whole lot of well hit balls from either side, but that's the second one that's carried a long way out to right. Wiegand ended up making a pretty good play on it. Now, one away, Martinez at third, R.J. Sherwood the hitter. Sherwood walked his only time up in the first. R.J. comes in hitting .312. 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. The infield for the CornBelters comes in. Letamendi shielding his eyes from the sun. And the pitch is in the dirt. It gets away from Sahusky, and Martinez is going to come in to score on the wild pitch. Now 2-0 LumberKings. Downing noticeably frustrated out there. He hasn't had consistent command of most of his pitches throughout the entire night. He's had spurts where he's been able to locate some pitches pretty well, especially some curveballs away from right-handed hitters. But there was not a whole lot Sahusky could have done. Drake just spiked a fastball in front of the plate. So with one out, the infield moves back now with the bases clear. And the 1-0 pitch is fouled right off the wood facing of the grandstand. A loud thud emanated through the ballpark. The right-hander is no longer throwing for the CornBelters, and thanks to him turning around, that's Sam Lavin, who is the pitcher out there. Well, he's climbed the mound again, perhaps just taking a break. And I guess Sherwood broke his bat. I was wondering why we had the delay at first, but there he is. Has a new piece of lumber, put some pine tar on it. It didn't sound like he broke his bat, but those tests are pretty noticeable. Well, he figured out the bat situation and he digs back in to the right-handed box. The left fielder, Brown, is way off the line in the alleyway. Everybody else straight up in the outfield. Downing a deep breath, and he'll deal the 1-1 with one out. Swung on off the hands, foul, and over our heads. 1-2 the count now. Andres, right next to me, is having some fun with the music emanating through the ballpark. 1-2 the count now. The flag still blowing calmly towards right. And the pitch is swung on and missed. That curveball did catch a lot of the plate, but Sherwood was way out in front of it. That's the 5th strikeout of the night for Downing. Well, he has had the punch-out pitch working, and for what it's worth, even though he's had a tough time hitting a broadside of a barn at times, he's missing a lot of barrels for these LumberKings hitters. In both of our first 2 games, score-wise, the game was virtually over after the 3rd and 4th. And it's only 2-0 now, and the LumberKings have 1 hit. Curveball misses just inside to Peterson, and he drew 1 of 4 walks Downing has issued so far, along with a hit batsman. And the 1-0 pitch with the bases clear is a little inside. And albeit, there have been some bad misses, but also quite a few like that last pitch, missing inside to righties, but not missing by much. Part of the problem, though, is Downing and Sahusky are trying to go outside on some of these pitches, and you're not as likely to get the call when you have to reach your glove all the way to the other side of the plate. High 3-0 the count, now 3-0. They had a SpongeBob sound going just a second ago. That pirate. The 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for a called strike. Well, Lavin is throwing again in the CornBelter bullpen. Uh-oh. The ball got away for a second. There's our photographer Mallory to retrieve it. As the next one is swung on and hit out to right. It's not deep. Wiegand over towards the line into the shadows, and he makes the catch. So another run does come across for the LumberKings thanks to a walk, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. We'll head to the top of the 4th. CornBelters looking to get the bats going, trailing 2-0. We're back for the top of the fourth. CornBelters trail 2-0. Owen Puck back out to work the fourth. He'll deal with Zykowski, Wiegand, and Brown as he just finishes up his warm-up pitches. I was wondering coming into play tonight how the CornBelter bats, who come in collectively hitting .285, second in the entire league, only trailing the Chillicothe Paints, who are hitting .333, which is absolutely ridiculous. They should probably be in the Northwoods leagues if they're tearing it up that much. First pitch curveball a little inside to Zykowski, who walked his only time up. One of 2 free passes issued by Puck, who's working a little faster now. The 1-0 delivery is swung on towards the middle on a couple hops. Chase Womack backhands it at second and in time to retire Zykowski. One away, it brings up Austin Wiegand. Well, there's a pretty good conversation between the dugout and bullpen for the CornBelters. Between Randy Wittenberg and manager Billy DuBois. There's Nick Roseman, too. Chase Mason is the bullpen catcher tonight. That might be Sam Lavin, who's also in the conversation. In the dirt, ball 1 to Wiegand, who bounced out to the box his first time up. And their photographer Mallory was in there too, and she's had some fun tales over the past couple weeks, including at this ballpark. Foul ball, that's off the shin of Wiegand. Fortunately, he seems to be okay. Looked like the ball might have bounced before it hit him. The pitch was well inside and right off his hands. Anyway, last inning, there was a ball that got away from Mason, the bullpen catch, that ended up in Mallory's territory, and she was set up just outside the dugout towards the tarp. Now, it didn't hit her, but earlier in the season, she got nailed in the upper thigh as the 1-1 pitch with 1 out is grounded to third. Brian Bello gobbles it up across the diamond in time. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth for the CornBelters. And I tell you what, that thing left a humongous bruise. You would have thought Mallory got hit by a softball at 100 miles an hour. That thing was dark and really ugly for a long time. She's fine now, though. So it looked like for a second we were close to another one of those. And a curveball misses down low to Brown, who grounded out to second his first time up. Griffin comes into play. Oh, wrong side. Hitting .239. And the 1-0 pitch is lined out of play foul to the right side. That time the fastball at 88 from Puck. This is definitely one of the harder throwing starters we've seen this summer. I think it's reasonable to assume that all the giggling after the recent pitch that got away from the bullpen and almost hit Mallory was because of that. Oh, look out. Brown gets nailed in the shoulder. Now, he's all right. That pitch came in at 89. A 2-out base runner for the CornBelters. The second batter that Puck has plucked tonight. No pun intended. As Chris Sahusky will walk up to the plate. He flew out to center on a pretty well-hit ball his first time up. Chris comes in hitting .214. No home runs, 8 RBIs. I will say, there haven't been as many balls getting away from bullpen catches with Chris back there. First pitch misses outside. So nobody up throwing in the CornBelter bullpen right now. Just a couple of guys lightly tossing against the padded wall up against the visiting clubhouse. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, 2-0 LumberKings, and a called strike on the outside corner to Sahusky, who's not pleased with it. Now that was definitely off the plate. Blaze brought that back. Chris thinking to himself, hey, I could use a few of those calls. Especially with the way Downing has struggled at times with his command. There goes Brown. The pitch misses down low. The throw to second is not in time. Brown, an athletic guy out there. A big-time head-first dive. That's a big stolen base just with the way the CornBelters have struggled in the early part of tonight. Getting a man into scoring position. The 4th stolen base this summer for Griffin. He's not a big-time base-stealing threat, but a great athlete all the way around. The 2-1 is swung on and missed by Sahusky. 89 blown right past him. As Chris steps out, he's got the yellow batting gloves on, and he'll re-engage. Trying to come up with a hit with a man in scoring position. Only one hit for each team. As puck checks Brown once and goes home, swing and a miss. A good curveball able to retire Sahusky. That's the 5th strikeout tonight for Owen Puck. And for the 3rd time tonight, he's able to work around a man in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Clinton still on top 2-0. We're set to go for the bottom of the 4th here in Clinton. 2-0 LumberKings. And thanks to just the high pitch count and all the deep counts from Drake Downing, he's done for the night after just 3 innings. He'll make way for Tyler Altenbaumer, and he'll deal with the bottom 3rd of the LumberKings order. Grout, Giusti, and Blaze. Tyler, this is his 13th appearance, 11th time out of the bullpen, as Grout lines the first pitch into center for a base hit. Just the 2nd hit of the night for the LumberKings, but they have a leadoff man aboard. Altenbaumer 0-1 in 11 2/3. The ERA is inflated. It's over 12, but Altenbaumer has been a lot better as of late. He did work a 1-2-3 scoreless inning at O'Fallon in the 12-2 loss. The CornBelters look to turn 2, and the pitch misses in the dirt. Good play from Sahusky, though, to keep it in front of him. Connor Giusti, the hitter. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. Giusti hitting 172 overall, with a single RBI to his credit. He's a relative new addition to the roster. Grounded to third. Good play, Zykowski. The 2nd for 1. Back to first. And Judah Morris able to hold on to the bag as he stretched far to his right. What a big-time play from Zykowski, who's been at his best defensively at second all summer. At times he has struggled on the left side of the diamond, but he picked that in-between hop off the dirt like a pro. And with how hard the ball was hit, that turned into a pretty easy around the horn double play. Now 2 quick outs here in the 4th. And the first pitch misses low to the 9th man, Blaze. Blaze struck out his first time up in the second. He lines that one out to second, but right at Tyler Castro. Ball wasn't out there all that hard. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Altenbomber. Barely had to break a sweat that time, or he faced the minimum thanks to the double play. We'll head to the top of the fifth. LumberKings still leading 2-0. We're set for the top of the fifth. Puck back out to work the fifth on the mound. He'll face the ninth hitter, Letamendi, and then the top. Altenbomber worked so quickly in the fourth, and that inning went so fast I didn't even get a chance to give you guys Drake Downing's final line. He went the first three, allowed just one hit, a couple runs. The live stats only say one of them is earned, but I have no idea why. Both of them should be earned, as the first pitch to Letamendi in the fifth is a called strike. That'll probably be changed later, because we haven't committed any errors. I don't know why a run would be unearned. 4 walks, a hit batter, and 4 strikeouts. As Letamendi takes a called strike 2, curveball running back on the inner half. Eddie struck out his only time up. Well, he's behind 0-2 now, and Puck has just been tough all night. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Letamendi in front of another curveball. 1 out here in the fifth. That's the 6th strikeout tonight for Puck. I mean, he's one of the harder throwers we've seen all summer. He's locating the curveball pretty well. And albeit 4 straight days of not facing live pitching, pretty much everybody in the lineup tonight, they hit at least 3 out of those days off. Well, they took batting practice before they got rained out against the Bees. Thompson Allen shows bunt, pulls it back. They appeal to the third base umpire, who does say that Thompson Allen went around. That's according to Kevin Ferris. And it looked like that was the right call. I don't think Tarek pulled it back in time either. Thompson Allen reached on an infield hit his last time up. Also reached on an error in the first. Outside, a ball and a strike. Thompson Allen has also stolen 2 bases tonight to extend his streak to 21. As he bats with 1 out and the base is clear. 2-0 LumberKings, top of the fifth. And a curveball is on the inside corner. Thompson Allen not happy at that one. And these are hitters that know the strike zone pretty well. I thought that was a borderline pitch, maybe a little inside. But there's no doubt, Puck has gotten a lot more pitches than Downing has gotten. And the 1-2 with 1 out, curveball way inside, it actually goes to the backstop. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The LumberKing pitchers have had a much friendlier strike zone with Brett Swalf behind the plate. But part of that's just been Puck has had way better command. Bounce back to the box, but flagged down by Puck. Underhand flip to first in time to retire Thompson Allen, who was hustling all the way up the box. Tarek hit that one hard. That ball was smoked off his bat. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th, and that brings up Tyler Castro. Castro has struck out each of his first 2 times tonight. Tyler, who came into play, only 2 for his last 18. He swings and misses at the first one. Other than the first game that he came back from his quad injury, he really hasn't resembled the same guy who got off to a torrent start through most of the first half. At one point, the second leading hitter in the Prospect League. Changeup outside, 1-1. LumberKings leading 2-0 with the bases clear, top of the 5th. Only 67 pitches for puck 2. As that one's rolled slowly to the right side, handled by the first baseman Giusti. Underhand flip to puck covering in time. Another 1-2-3 inning for Owen Puck. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Altenbomber looking to keep this one close. CornBelters trailing 2-0. Welcome back for the bottom of the 5th here in the Colonels Collegiate League and the CornBelters away YouTube channel. Altenbomber back out to work his second inning out of the bullpen after facing the minimum in the 4th. He'll deal with the top of the lineup for Clinton, Jacobs, Womack, and Martinez. Jacobs singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Clay hitting .289 this summer. No home runs, 16 RBIs. Wow, they are playing him very shallow and left and right. He swings the first pitch and hits it pretty well out to right center. Thompson Allen has it lined up in the alleyway, and he makes the one-handed catch. A lot of room out there. There's the 401 sign in right center, and it gets out to pretty close to 400 in left center. 395 straight away to center field. One quick out, and these LumberKing hitters are swinging early on Altenbomber, but credit to Tyler, he's aggressive in the strike zone. Womack, the hitter, right on left the matchup, and the pitch is taken down low. Chase struck out in the first and bounced out to short in the second. You know, I'm not going to lie, I'm not necessarily hungry, but I'm thinking I should have asked Clay Jacobs' mom, Andrea, for a cookie. Called strike 1-1. I mean, I was right there. I got to see her open the box. And I didn't feel appropriate asking because I'm not Andres, the home broadcaster for the LumberKings. Changeup misses up high. 2-1 the count. 1 out. 2-0 LumberKings. The base is clear in the bottom of the 5th. But that sugar rush does sound pretty good right about now. Like, I have pretty good energy. I have very good energy right now. But sugar also tastes really nice. That one smoked out to right center field. Thompson Allen got turned around for a second, but he's able to hang with it for the second out. He went over towards right center initially, and then he had to turn himself back around. I guess he overran it slightly. 2 quick outs again, and Jalen Martinez will bat. He scored both runs tonight for the LumberKings. A walk in the first, or he got hit by a pitch in the first, and he was one of 4 free passes that Drake Downing issued that inning, He also walked in the third and scored on a wild pitch. First pitch from Altenbomber is down and away for a ball. There is a right-hander throwing in the LumberKing bullpen, and a right-hander also throwing in the CornBelter bullpen. There's the one and only Nick Roseman, just watching. Swing and a miss at a curveball. I tell you what, Altenbomber looks very sharp. He's working quickly. He's already set on the mound, even with Martinez stepping out for a second. And now he's set. He goes home out of the stretch, and a curveball misses just inside. The lights are on here at Nelson Core Field. The breeze has calmed down a bit more going out to right. It wasn't that strong to begin with. Good curveball on the outside corner, 2-2. But right now, this showing from Altenbomber is easily the best I've seen any CornBelter pitcher look in a road game in a very long time. And he does look very good. The 2-2 with 2 outs is downstairs. I mean, this would be a big lift, especially if Altenbomber's able to extend himself over the course of a few innings. He comes set. Here's the 3-2. Line through the middle, that's going to be a base hit. It went whistling right past Altenbomber's glove. Only the third hit tonight for the LumberKings, just 4 combined between both teams. But Clinton has a leadoff base runner, or a 2-out base runner. Now it's Brian Bellows' turn. He walked in the first, flew out to right in the third. Well, there's our camera girl, Mallory, in the first row right behind home plate. The last time we were out here, she came up to talk to Colin and I right before the first pitch, as Altenbomber gets the called strike on the outside corner. I thought she was just paying us a friendly visit, and although we are always happy to see each other around the ballpark, turned out her SD cards broke. So then she went to talk to the general manager, Nate, for the LumberKings. He recommended a gas station, as that pitch is hit in the air to right center. Austin Wiegand is there. He makes the call and the catch to retire the side. But just to wrap up the story, I'll actually keep it here for a little bit longer. Mallory ended up going on just about a 4-mile run, just going up and down Main Street through gas stations and other shops. Now, mind you, this is a pretty small Main Street kind of blue-collar town. Things are closed by the time the game starts here in Clinton. Somehow, some way, she's able to find her SD card. She found the right gas station that had the stuff she needed. So she came back to the ballpark all sweaty. The players didn't even notice as she was gone. It's a jog that she's not looking to take again anytime soon. At least, you know, at night going through a downtown in kind of a Rust Belt city. Anyway, that's all said and done. She's training for a marathon too, so she was at least ready for it. We'll come back for the top of the 6th, 2-0 LumberKings. We're back for the top of the 6th, and a very welcome sight, at least in my opinion, and here at Nelson Core Field. Owen Puck is out of the game. That's good because he went the first 5 innings, only allowed 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, a couple hit batters to go with 6 strikeouts. And he was definitely sharp. And he makes way for Zach Volker. Volker just joined the team out of the University of Iowa. He pitched in the Cape Cod League a couple summers ago, which makes me wonder what he's doing out here. I guess wanted to be a little closer to home. He's so new to the team that he's not even on the roster sheets that Andres gave me. Making his debut. So let's see. I don't know how tall he is. He's a right-hander. He is nowhere near as tall as Puck, who's 6'5". I'm going to guess around 6'1". And he is a slightly more husky character than Puck. Not a heavy guy by any means, but a little more of a football body. Wow, that is a herky-jerky motion out of the windup. And the pitch is hit foul by Jeske. The catcher's glove blades ended up popping off, but no catcher's interference. Jeske, the DH, was hit by a pitch in the first and grounded out to second in the third. As he digs back in, 0-1 the count. The CornBelters trailing by 2. And here's the pitch from Volker. Slow roller to the left side, handled by the third baseman Bello, and in time to retire Jeske by half a step. Went with the curveball that time. So the night is done for Puck. 5 innings, a hit, no runs, 1 walk, 2 hit batters, and 6 strikeouts. Yeah, we're glad to see him out of the game. Not a lot of good swings from our guys. And a lineup that, as I mentioned earlier, came in second in the league in hitting. A lineup that has just been awesome all the way around. As Morris will dig in, and the first pitch to him is a curveball outside. Morris has seen a steady diet of breaking balls. And a lot of pitches away from him. So Vickroy steps way over towards first in his windup as Morris fouls the next one out of play to the right. There's a lefty throwing now in the CornBelter bullpen, and then he does a herky-jerky big leg kick after that first step, then extends as far as he can towards the plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch with 1 out. Swung on and popped way up there to the right side. The first baseman, Juski, makes the call, and he puts it away in fair territory. Morris just missed that one. But Zach Volker able to retire the first 2 Belters in order. Now it's Zykowski's turn. A walk in the first and a ground out to second in the fourth. Volker has only needed 5 pitches to record the first 2 outs. Already this game looks way different than the first 4 matchups. Pitchers dominating so far. And Zykowski takes a little high. Mallory still down there in the first row getting her shots. She was able to get a couple of really nice pictures of me and Andres back at the corn crib in between games on a doubleheader. Way outside 2-0. Actually popped out of Byron Blaze's glove. She was able to finish developing those and get them to us today. Good shots. I like to think I make any shot look a little bit easier, but that's just me talking for myself. Here's the 2-0 pitch with 2 outs. Outside again. And I would imagine Zykowski will take all the way. Josh Foreman in the third base coach's box doesn't really issue any signs. So any take would just be up to the hitter. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and it's on the outside corner. Now, ever since the first couple innings, that borderline, maybe full ball length off the outside corner has been open for business. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Oh, and Zykowski goes around on a curveball in the dirt. That's one of those. He's looking dead red. He pulls the trigger. Then at the last second, he goes, uh-oh, I don't really want to swing at that. 3-2 the count now. 2 outs. The base is clear. LumberKings lead 2-0. And Volker goes home, swung on and fouled straight back. Pretty good hack from Zykowski, who came into play hitting .310. The shadows now are fully covering Nelson Core Field. Volker set A long hold. And now he goes home. The 3-2 again. That's it out to left. It's pretty well hit. Martinez goes back towards the wall, looking up. And that one is gone. Just over that 8-foot wall. Zykowski goes deep. And he's made it a 1-run game. It's now 2-1 LumberKings. The first home run this summer, too, for Zykowski. It had that sound off the bat, but it was a line drive with a lot of topspin. The only question was, would it be high enough? It's only the second hit of the night for the CornBelters, but that is a big swing of momentum. And a blow that we absolutely needed. And especially Volker made it look so easy the first 2 hitters. First pitch on the outside corner to Austin Wiegand. Wiegand has grounded out twice tonight. Only 5 combined hits between both teams. And Volker set. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a hanging changeup. That's one Wiegand would want back. As Austin steps out, trying to gather himself behind 0-2. The center fielder Jacobs way over in the left center field alleyway on the left-handed hitter. And a changeup just high. Granted, that's been a pretty consistent call from Brett Swalp. He has not been giving the high strike. Granted, the CornBelters have been going after a lot of those pitches there. And the 1-2 pitch is lifted out of play, foul to the left. I also wasn't sure if the ball off of Zykowski's bat would get out. So it's 330 down the line and left. Then it gets pretty deep, but then in straightaway left, the wall juts out back towards home plate. There's a 335 sign, and then it quickly curves back away from home plate. So it gets pretty deep quickly. Oh, wow, that pitch is called strike 3 on the outer part, but that was about a foot off the plate. Well, Swalp has had mostly a good night. That was a pretty bad one as he rings up Wiegand. First punch out of the night for Volker, but the damage is done. Zach Zykowski with a loud first run of the night on his first home run over the left field wall. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Now, a 2-1 LumberKings lead. We'll come back a bit early for the bottom of the 6th. Tyler Altenbaumer back out to work his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. So the normal CornBelters I've seen all around the ballpark, how 96% of farming and farming products in Illinois are produced by families, as opposed to, corporate factory farms, everything that us Americans love. But this was a campaign. It's called the We Are the 96 campaign. It started up in early 2023, and there were statewide ads going all over the place on radios, TVs. There was a Super Bowl ad about just making awareness about how important the family farming is throughout the state of Illinois, and, of course, trying to get the people to redirect some of their shopping habits towards those fresh products. Now, mind you, if you're able to get access, it's obviously a lot cheaper. First pitch to Altenbaumer to Sherwood is hit way up in the air to left. And that is going to be a long home run. That ball went down the hill beyond the left field wall. Griffin Brown didn't even venture back on that. That makes it a 3-1 game to open the 6th. Altenbomber's been aggressive with his fastballs the entire night. It was down, but it caught the middle of the plate, and Sherwood did not miss it. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to give too much credit, but that was a moonshot of a home run. On a day where, albeit, the ball is carrying pretty well. It's the 5th home run of the summer for Sherwood, who does lead the LumberKings. Raith Peterson, the next hitter, and he takes a strike. So Sherwood and the LumberKings, at least for now, answer back after Zykowski's home run in the top of the 6th. Down low, a ball and a strike. I mean, that one did have the sound, and there wasn't any reaction from the fans at first, which almost confused me. Brown didn't move, so it also made me wonder where the ball was. Fouled at the plate, and Sahusky's in some pain. That looked like it got a piece of his right hand. Well, he's back up on his feet now, and he gingerly walks around. The home plate umpire walked halfway out to give Altenbomber a new ball. The manager, Billy DuBois, is halfway out of the dugout to check on his battery mate. And granted, this was the spot 2 weeks ago that Sahusky did suffer the concussion, getting hit by a pitch. But he waved off Billy DuBois. He's good to go. I'm pretty sure that hit him in his hand. Either way, he seems to be all right. 1-2 the count now to Peterson, who's walked, and he flew out to right his last time up. The flag is not moving at all in left field. But anyway, there was no reaction from the fans, and Griffin wasn't moving, so it also made me wonder, okay, is it a foul ball? As that pitch is called outside, Sahusky was ready to throw that around. And granted, that's been a strike most of the night. So I have no idea why Suave didn't award Altenbomber. He didn't miss his spot either. The 2-2 pitch is downstairs. No outs, bases clear, bottom of the 6th. 3-1 LumberKings after the R.J. Sherwood home run. And just with the way the wooden overhang for the stadium seating is that one's lined out to deep right. Wiegand on the run, and that one's going to be high off the wall. It kicks away for a second from Wiegand. Peterson's making a turn to third. The throw by Morris is not in time. A collision at third. Down goes Zykowski as Peterson slid headfirst through the bag. And Peterson is down. The ball deflected off of something as it kicked off of Zykowski's glove, and that must have gotten a piece of Raith Peterson. He's down on a knee right now. I'm not sure where the ball got him, whether it was his shoulder or the helmet area. But the first 2 batters in the 6th inning have hit some missiles off of Altenbomber. Billy DuBois out of the dugout. He signals to the bullpen. The night is done for Tyler. 2+ innings. The man on third is his responsibility, albeit 2 excellent innings out of the bullpen. Don't want that to get lost on anyone despite the 2 extra base hits. So Altenbomber out, a new pitcher in with no outs and a man on third, and we'll step aside. Welcome back, everyone. Cole Martz, the new pitcher in for the CornBelters, on in relief of Tyler Altenbaumer, who's done after going 2+, allowing 4 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. And with the runner on third, Rafe Peterson, who tripled a second ago, his responsibility. His line isn't done yet. The infield all the way in as Carson Grout takes a first pitch inside from Martz. Cole, his 7th game of the season. He has started 4 games. He's gone 15 2/3, 14 walks, 21 strikeouts. That's definitely more walks than you want to see. 2-0 the count now to Grout. So Martz comes in a pretty big spot. Nowhere near the same offensive explosion from either side that we've been used to when they face off, as that one's in the air, foul down the left field line, 2-1 with nobody out. Grout singled his last time up, but erased on the double play. Also struck out in the first. Altenbaumer, got to give him a lot of credit. Keeping the LumberKings mostly where they've been at, as the next pitch is up and away, 3-1 the count. No strikeouts, but just filling up the strike zone, getting early outs, and getting your guys back into the dugout. Problem is the CornBelters, other than Zykowski's homer, have done almost nothing at the plate. That one's ripped back through the middle. That's going to get in for a hit. Past the drawn in infield. Peterson scores. And Grout with the 3rd consecutive hit for the LumberKings this inning. And that'll bring up Connor Giusti. Giusti bounced into a double play his last time up. It's now 4-1 LumberKings. Martz is in a... He's going to have to bear down right here. That's the 2nd run this inning from the LumberKings. And you do not want this to get too far away as he misses outside. Although a sparse crowd tonight, you don't want to get the fans into it. They haven't had a whole lot of reason to get into the game throughout. Want to stay away from the crooked numbers. In the dirt, 2-0. It gets away from Sahusky, but not far enough for Grout to advance. It actually trickled underneath the home plate umpire's legs. The CornBelters set to turn 2. Both middle infielders actually shaded way up the middle. Zykowski even with the bag at third. And the 2-0 pitch, check swing, but high. And now Martz cannot afford to try and be too perfect. He's missed with 3 straight, none of them overly competitive. Cannot afford to start falling behind hitters. That's where the CornBelter pitching has gotten into trouble on the road. Upstairs and a 4-pitch walk to Giusti. It puts men on first and second with nobody out. 4 straight LumberKing hitters have reached. And time is called. Here comes Billy Dubois. He's not messing around. He's signaling to a left-hander in the bullpen who got up in a hurry. We'll take another break here at Nelson Core Field. 4-1 is our score, and the line is now done for Altenbaumer for what it's worth, allowing 2 earned runs with the inherited runner coming across. Cole Martz done after facing just 2 hitters, not able to retire either of them. We'll be right back. We're back. It's still the bottom of the 6th. The CornBelters now on their 3rd pitcher in the inning, with the first 4 LumberKings reaching base. R.J. Sherwood started the inning with the home run. Rafe Peterson tripled. Then Tyler Altenbomber was lifted for Cole Martz, who allowed a single to Grout, and then he walked Connor Giusti. And now he makes way for Zach O'Donnell, the left-hander, with a 5.17 ERA in 15 2/3. 8 walks to go with 17 strikeouts. This play would be lovely with Byron Blaze, the hitter. First pitch misses upstairs. Left on right the matchup. All of a sudden things have slowed down as Blaze goes to tie his shoe. Infield still set to turn 2. And there is somebody who's getting ready to throw for the CornBelters just in case. Nobody up in the LumberKing bullpen, so we'll expect to see Volker come back out. Good curveball in for a called strike. CornBelters trailing 4-1. The LumberKings have already scored twice. Both runs being charged to Altenbomber. The 2 runners are Martz's responsibility, who was not able to record an out. Good changeup as Blaze waves and misses at it, way out in front. Looked like Byron was asking the home plate umpire if that was over the plate. That one just disappeared down and away. Couple looks at the man at second, and a third one, and O'Donnell goes home. Just outside. I don't know what it's been. Maybe Suave just prefers the way Blaze receives the ball over Sahusky, but CornBelter pitching has not gotten that borderline outside strike to right-handed hitters. O'Donnell set at the letters, and he goes home, and the 2-2 is rolled foul past the third base coach. Not the best effort by him over there, if I do say so myself. Now 2-2 the count. Looks like that might be Terry McGinn down there. O'Donnell set again. First and second, nobody out, 4-1, and the pitch. Off the end of the bat, trickled foul off the concrete backstop. Yeah, all concrete back there, extending from each dugout. As the sun is setting here in Clinton, Iowa, the flag still not moving a muscle. It really hasn't for the better part of 2 innings. O'Donnell, a long hold again, checks the runner at second twice. That's Grout, who has a short lead. And the pitch is lined out to right center. That could be trouble, but it slices back to Wiegand. Grout will tag and go to third, and the throw is cut off by Letamendi. Pretty good play from Wiegand to hang with that ball. That one really sliced back over to right. Finally, the first out here in the 6th, and now first and third with 1 out. And it's the leadoff man, Clay Jacobs. Clay 1 for 3. He flew out to center his last time up. Let's see how the CornBelters play it. They're going to set up to turn 2 up the middle. Zykowski in at the lip of the grass on third, and Morris holding the runner at first. That's Giusti. Left on left the matchup. And the first pitch, check swing in the dirt, called a ball. Good play from Sahusky to keep it in front of him. I would not expect Giusti to take off, especially with the leadoff man at the plate. He has not attempted a stolen base this season, so I really wouldn't expect him to take off. The pitch is swung on and missed. Good curveball going down and away to the left-hander. Only 7 combined hits between both teams, only 2 for the CornBelters, with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. So you really feel like you can't afford to let the LumberKings put a 5th one across. O'Donnell set, and the 1-1. Curveball up and in. The left fielder, Brown, is playing shallow. The CornBelters trying to win their 2nd straight game on the road. Otherwise, they've lost 7 of 8. They got blown out 12-2 at O'Fallon. They beat Springfield the away game before. The next one is lined out to right. Wiegand will have to play it on a hop. Grout will cross the plate. Juicy stops at second, and it's now 5-1 LumberKings. They've put up a 3 spot here in the 6th, and there's still only 1 out. These are the crooked numbers that the CornBelter pitching has gotten in trouble with. Now, despite all the free passes and command issues, only single runs were put up by the LumberKings in the 1st and the 3rd. And you have the second batter, Chase Womack, up. A chance to try and blow it open. CornBelters still look to turn 2. And a curveball from O'Donnell is on the outside corner. Womack lined out sharply to center his last time up. There is another left-hander throwing in the CornBelter bullpen. Zach set. 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and he goes home. Low with a changeup. It is really shocking, just the tale of home and away splits for the CornBelters. For the better part of a month, Normal has been virtually unbeatable at home. It doesn't matter who's been coming in. Breaking ball misses down and into the right-hander, 2-1. Whether it's teams around 500, whether it's teams that have been struggling, or even some of the better teams like the LumberKings, Normal has just been blowing people away at home lately. The road, it's been a different story. The 2-1 pitch is hit in the air, right side foul territory. Morris on the run towards the CornBelter dugout, and it lands right on top of the CornBelter dugout. If Morris was able to get to the spot, he might be long enough to reach out towards the spot as he kind of demonstrated, but you have that half fence that separates the field from the dugout. You do not want to risk tumbling in there in a summer league game. 2-2 the count now. The left-hander continues to throw for the Belters. As Womack awaits, he'll dig back into the box. The outfielders are all straight up. Zykowski deep at third towards the line, as he's been almost all night with righties at the plate. Here's the pitch from O'Donnell. Outside, 3-2. Five to 1 LumberKings. They've put up 3 in the 6th. On a calm, humid night, and it's getting more humid here in Clinton. And the payoff, off the end of the bat, fair ball down the first base line. It trickles into right. Around third is Juicy. He's in to score. The throw to second is high and off line. It goes into left. That's going to allow Jacobs to come all the way around. Nobody's covering third. Womack into third. 2-run score for the LumberKings. It's now 7-1. 5 runs here in the 6th from Clinton, and they have broken this one open. That was a cue shot off the end of the bat, up the first base line. Morris had no chance to get it. He's been playing righties to pull way off the bag all night long. So 1 run was going to score no matter what. And then Austin Wiegand completely airmailed Eddie Letamendi at second. So that's his 3rd error of the summer. And then that allowed Womack, who is going to be credited with a double and an RBI, to go all the way to 3rd. And now Jalen Martinez, the hitter. The infield is playing in, and that ball's hit well out to left. Once again, Brown does not venture back. It's going to be gone. A 2-run homer for Jalen Martinez. Yeah, that was one of those, you knew it off the bat, even though I can't see as well with balls that go way up in the air. It's the 2nd home run of the night for the LumberKings, and Brown didn't even bother to give that one a courtesy jog. It was gone off the bat. The 2nd home run of the summer for Jalen. It's now 9-1 LumberKings, just out of nowhere. 7 runs here in the 6th. And still only 1 out. This is a lineup. Now, they are one of the better hitting teams in the league. They've struggled as of late, came into play hitting .265. As time is called, Sahusky out to talk to O'Donnell. They're going to make the home plate umpire, Brett Swallow, break it up, and he does, just to let the lefty out there throw a few more pitches. Billy DuBois is going to stick with O'Donnell for now. And look, I don't think they're even making really bad pitches. And now here comes Billy DuBois. He is going to make the move to the other left-hander. So O'Donnell's night is done. He just like Cole Marks, was not able to record, he was able to record 1 out here in the inning. But that's it. Well, Billy's doing his classic thing. He has the whole infield in. He's definitely going to bring the left-hander in, but he's going to make the umpire come break it up. Now, Billy, he has some interesting conversations with the umpire when he eventually does come to break it up. And here he comes to do that. He's kicking some dirt across, or kicking the dirt off of the rubber right now. He might ask him what he had for breakfast this morning, what he's seen on TV, how his wife's doing. As he tells the home plate umpire, Billy didn't even bother to signal out there that time. The umpire did. We'll take another break here in the bottom of the 6th. Only 1 out. And the bases are clear. The night is done for Zach O'Donnell. The new lefty will come in, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. In case you're just joining us, it is now 9-1 LumberKings. They have scored 7 times in the 6th on 4 extra base hits, 2 home runs. Brian Bellows, the 9th man who's going to hit this inning for the LumberKings. And the CornBelters are on their 4th pitcher this inning. Brady Banker, the left-hander, will take over with the bases clear. And so I got word from my buddy Andres. They use Google Maps to measure home runs here at the ballpark. And so, obviously not official. R.J. Sherwood, who started the inning with a homer, they think that one traveled 407 feet. And granted, it did get out by a pretty long way. Banker finished up with his warm-ups. Brian Bello will be the hitter. Banker going out of the windup, and the first pitch of his night is at the knees for a called strike. The LumberKings up to 8 hits. Yeah, all 4 hits this inning have, or 4 out of the 5 hits this inning have gone for extra bases. The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt, 1-1 the count. There's nobody up in the CornBelter bullpen right now. Likely hoping that Banker is able to give them some range tonight, or some depth tonight. The home run from Martinez, the previous hitter, went 361 feet, according to their Google Maps. 1-1 the count. I wonder how they exactly measure that. Like, do they have somebody who just walks out there, who gets the spot, and then you use the phones to get the location, and then you measure it from home plate? I know there's apps where you can measure things on Google Maps, and the 1-2 pitch is a little inside. But yeah, that's a new one. Because none of the teams in the Prospect League have a TrackMan or any kind of analytics technology like that. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Banker. Upstairs, 3-2 the count. This was a 2-1 ball game going into the bottom of the sixth, with Zach Zykowski cutting the deficit in half with a home run of his own. That changed fast. And that's down low for ball 4. So Bello aboard. Banker walks the first man he faces. R.J. Sherwood will bat for the second time this inning. He hit that 407-foot unofficial home run to start the inning, and that was his 5th home run of the year. And then the floodgates opened up for the LumberKings. And this is the same LumberKings team where in a doubleheader back on the Corn Crib on June 28th got shut out 13-0. Throw over the first. No tag applied by Morris. Now Bello could theoretically take off, even with the score 9-1, just to try and get it to the 10-run rule through 7. First pitch curveball in the dirt. Bello thought about it, but will hold up at first. Well, I'd say for Banker, at this point you're out there to get some work in, so try to hit your spots, but definitely be aggressive. Every inning counts, every at-bat counts, especially in summer ball, trying to develop. Swinging a foul straight back to the screen. Sherwood was trying to connect with another home run. He's going to put some pine tar on his bat. Guess he wasn't happy with his grip. The infield will look to turn 2. And mind you, I'm trying to think of a good story to tell. I told everyone in the last CornBelter game about when I got lost in the Navajo Indian tribe on top of a canyon. I've told some good pig racing stories. The 1-1 pitch is a called strike. It pops out of the glove of Sahusky. Up to second, standing up goes Bello. The throw is not in time. That's the 15th passed ball this summer for Chris. 1-2 the count to Sherwood. The pitch was called a strike. Let's see. I need to start writing these down to make sure I have some good ones, especially when I start running through them. Because whether wins or losses, I've just blown through some stories and blowouts. Down and away, 2-2 the count. Let's see. Oh, I think I just thought of one. And we don't have any ads we have to worry about, so I can just continue it through the break if needed. 2-2 the count now, and the pitch to Sherwood is a curveball down low. Over at second is Bello. So I was in the middle of a long road trip. With my pig racing experience, I finished up a fair in Phoenix with the big boss. And the 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Some good tail towards the outer half of the plate from Banker. Now 2 outs here in the 6th. Rafe Peterson will be the hitter. He tripled off the right field wall his last time up. Now this was 2 years ago. This past year when I finished the same fair in Phoenix, and I went up to meet my boss at his home in Eugene, Oregon to do some work just between fairs. Looks like we have a pinch hitter coming up. Cougar Cook is going to pinch hit for Rafe Peterson. So he'll likely stay in the game to play shortstop. The first pitch to the right-hander was a curveball that misses high. Now, Cook does represent the run that would make it a 10-run game. So if he comes across the score, there are 2 outs and a man on second. Then if the CornBelters don't push anything across in the 7th, that would end the game. Called strike at the knees, 1-1. So I guess I better make this kind of quick. So this past year, I decided to take the Pacific Coast Highway trip. It was absolutely breathtaking. But the year before, I decided, I guess for cheaper gas, to go through Nevada. I'd never done that before. Called strike 1 and 2. There's nothing in Nevada once you get away from the cities. There's a few scattered, very small towns, some of them abandoned, a few suburban towns towards the California coast. And the 1-2 pitch is foul-tipped into the glove of Sahusky. Back-to-back punch-outs for Brady Banker. Good inning for him. That retires the side here in the 6th. The damage is done. 7 runs came across for the LumberKings on 5 hits and 4 extra bases to go with 2 home runs. But we'll keep it here as we move to the top of the 7th so I can make sure to finish this story. So I went through Vegas, and one of my big goal on this trip going up to Oregon was to visit Area 51. Now, obviously, you cannot just walk in the door at Area 51, but there are 2 main gates. There's a front and a back one. At the front gate, you have snipers actually set up along the mountains to the side, kind of like a fortified castle. You can't see any important buildings from either of the entrances. And you have to find these random stop signs in the middle of the interstate. You can't find it on Google Maps either. You know, the government's not exactly going to give away this facility. I couldn't find the one for the front gate, which stunk, but I found the one for the back gate. But before that, I stayed a night in Rachel, Nevada, only 75 people. And I've been going a couple hours just driving through nothing. And I stayed at this inn. And when I got in, I was already driving an hour at night. And everybody told me that I was very fortunate that I did not run over. I say run over, more like collide with my car with one of the free-ranging cattle that just crossed the road at will. So that was a fortunate break. Zach Volker also back to work his 2nd inning on the mound after allowing a run on the Zykowski homer. Cougar Cook stays in the game to play shortstop after pinch hitting for Rafe Peterson. Griffin Brown is the scheduled hitter, and it looks like he will bat for himself. Or will he? Yep, Griffin is batting for himself. CornBelters trailing 9-1 in the top of the 7th. And so I get in. I stay the night at this reconfigured trailer park. I couldn't find my little building at first because of how dark it was. It was less than 100 yards away, and there's nothing out there as the first pitch misses outside. Even though it was a beautiful night, you could see all the stars. No pollution to speak of, but there's no streetlights exactly in rural Nevada. It's all cattle country. Curveball at the knees, 1-1 to open the top of the 7th. And I was able to miraculously find my building, but my heater was broken. Now, the heater in the rest of the building was fine, but my specific room, it just wasn't working as the pitch misses upstairs, 2-1 the count. And this was mid-March and at elevation. And Nevada, once you get into some of the mountains, those winters are very cold. It got down to 15 degrees that night as Griffin fouls it off his foot. He'll take a short walk around the plate. I went to bed with my winter coat on that night and my heaviest pair of sweatpants. I was able to get a little bit of sleep. It wasn't exactly comfortable. And when I got up that next morning, I took a hot shower. That was the greatest hot shower of my life. And it wasn't because the shower itself was special, I can tell you what. Boy, did that sting, though. My hands and feet stung something fierce. I might as well have been on fire. The 2-2 pitch with no out is hit foul. Brown remains alive. I was not able to eat breakfast. I thought that the inn did serve breakfast at the bar, but that was not the case. And I walked in just to get some tips from the lady working behind the bar, or at least getting ready to open. And she asked if I was FBI, as Brown lines that one through the left side for a base hit. Good swing from Griffin. It's just the third hit of the night for the CornBelters, but Brown aboard to lead things off. Then I say to her, now granted, I had my heavy black trench coat on and my cowboy hat and a good pair of jeans, but I did confirm I was not law enforcement of any kind. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing that I was suspected to be one of them. Not saying anything good or bad about the FBI by any means, but I don't know what makes me look like law enforcement. As Sahusky swings and misses at the first one. 0-1, 9-1 LumberKings, no outs, top of the 7th, Brown at first. Anyway, I get on my way, though, and it takes me 2 attempts to actually find the right turnoff for the back entrance of Area 51. I could never find the front entrance, but I find it and I have a pretty good idea, because there's also this mailbox. This mailbox that's supposed to be messages for aliens. All sorts of nonsensical stuff out there, I tell you what. So that was the big indicator. I found that, and there was all their trading cards in there, Pokemon cards. There goes Brown. The pitch taken inside. A throw to second, and safe is the call at second base. I don't know what Griffin Brown was doing. The fans are irate over the call. It was bang, bang. The third base umpire, Kevin Ferris, made the call. Brown looked like he didn't know whether he wanted to slide or not, like he wanted to go in standing up. And it was a very awkward feet-first slide directly into the bag. Just very odd. Griffin steals his second bag of the night. He stole one back in the third. He got a big-time jump, too. Now 2-1 to Sahusky. And the pitch is lined out of play to the right side. I'm just glad to see Griffin didn't hurt himself going into second. He did not come up lame at all. So I finished up with a mailbox. I had Pokemon cards, some sports trading cards, some candy, some cigarette butts, which was less than becoming. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt for a ball, blocked by Blaze. And I drove about 20 miles into the Mojave Desert. And there was nothing out there. I quickly lost signal on my cell phone, as I'm sure is by design. The final 5 miles, the dirt road turns into concrete. And the 3-2 is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. The second strikeout of the night for Zach Volker. Second time Sahusky's gone down on strikes. And 1 out in the 7th. It's Eddie Letamendi's spot, but it looks like Alex Mazzetti is going to pinch hit. And he will. Mazzetti, he's only played in 6 games. He's 2 for 8 in his limited opportunities with 3 RBIs. So he'll bat. He'll definitely stay in the game. Not sure whether he'll play third or short. We've seen him play third anytime he's been in the field. Brown inches off of second, and Volker goes home. Check swing, called a ball. No appeal. 1-0 the count with 1 out. And so I reach the gate. There's not a soul out there. And you can't see any important buildings. You can see a few, I guess, entry little structures. It's nothing to look at. It's more just the feeling and the eeriness as the pitch misses outside. And I get out of my car and I see all the signs. No drones, no flash or no photography. If you enter the facility, then you will be imprisoned for 6 months at least. And your car will be impounded and you'll get a fine. Called strike at the knees, 2-1 the count to Mazzetti. And obviously I'm not looking to break any rules. But I get out of my car feeling like the big bad cowboy that I thought I was. I was looking fierce. And I walk slowly towards the gate as the pitch misses outside. And I look around. I can't see any government officials. There's nobody working the entrance station. It's the late morning at this point, so every scheduled federal worker is already in for the day. As Volker is set, the 3-1 delivery is lined up the middle. That's going to drop in for a hit. Brown's going to be held at third as he got a late start. Second hit of the inning for the CornBelters. A good swing from Mazzetti. And it's been on first and third with one away. It'd be good to see if the CornBelters are able to at least chip into this deficit, try and prevent a 10-run rule situation. It's the leadoff man, Thompson Allen. He's 1 for 3 with an infield hit and a couple stolen bases. And time is called. Here comes the manager, Jack Dahm. There's a right-hander throwing for the LumberKings. Not sure if they're trying to buy some extra time or not. I guess that is what's going on. There's no signal. So to continue with the story, I start to slowly walk towards the gate. There's cameras everywhere. You have the signs all over the place. And you have some barbed wire fencing along the sides of the main fence. And also some thick shrubbery along the side. That's the left side. Then to my right, there's nothing but open desert for miles on end with mountains in the distance. Of course, lots of space to test out stuff with the openness. As the meeting concludes, Volker will remain in the game to deal with Thompson Allen. The infield will set up to turn 2. The third baseman, Bello, is at the lip of the grass. I don't really know why. I guess trying to take away a potential bunt from Thompson Allen. The first pitch to him is outside. Now I start to slowly walk up. I'm still not exactly close to the main gate. I'm still probably at least 15 yards away. And then the siren went off. The military horns were going and they were loud. As Thompson hits a towering shot into right. R.J. Sherwood, I don't know if he sees it. The second baseman, Womack, is way out into right. He makes the catch. Brown draws the throw, and it's cut off. That ball was hit a mile into the air. And my first thought was just looking at Sherwood. I couldn't tell how far it was going to go. It really only went about 15 feet into the right field grass. Maybe 25 feet. So P4 for those keeping score at home. But R.J. Sherwood had no idea where that ball was. So either Castro will be the hitter. So the sirens went off. There's still nobody out there. And I'm looking all over the place, seeing if somebody's coming out. I start thinking to myself, even though I knew I didn't do anything wrong as Castro takes a strike. I knew I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to get arrested here at the gate of Area 51. Oh, Lord, my life could be over here. Who knows what's going to happen to me? And the pitch is swung on and missed. Castro late at that one. 0-2 the count with 2 outs, first and third. 9-1 LumberKings. But then after about 45 seconds, I keep looking around. I see no one's coming, and I say that must have been a test of some kind, or it didn't have anything to do with me. Thank God. The 0-2 pitch as the runner goes from first. Swing and a miss. Stretch here at Nelson Core Field. The LumberKings leading 9-1. And I eventually drove off as another young couple was coming in a van to make their visit. And I was grateful as I drove past all the free-ranging cattle that I was not arrested at Area 51. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th. Here in Clinton, the CornBelters trail it 9-1. Carson Grout, Connor Giusti, and Byron Blaze are the scheduled hitters. Looks like Grout will bat for himself. Alex Mazzetti does stay in the game. He'll play third after pinch hitting for Eddie Letamendi. And Zach Zykowski moves from third to short. Left on left the matchup, and the pitch is lined out of play foul to the left. Brady Banker back out to work his second inning after recording the final 2 outs in that 7-run six. A sixth inning that required 4 pitchers for the CornBelters. There is a right-hander throwing for the Belters. Curveball outside, 1-1. Well, despite the score, everyone, you were able to hear yet another story from yours truly. And, yeah, you've heard a lot of them. In the dirt, 2-1. Andres was curious to hear between innings which story I ended up telling. And I told him about the Area 51 story. Well, I told him exactly what I told you guys, of course, the short version. He had not heard that story, or at least based on his reaction. Down low, 3-1 the count to open the 7th. He's heard a decent amount of the pig racing stories. And Andres did his normal thing where, well, actually, he showed more concern over that story with me thinking I was going to get arrested. Called strike 3-2. Nobody came out after all. I didn't break any laws. We're all good. Well, I guess technically I did snap a couple pictures as I was turning around. And the 3-2 pitch is down low. Grout aboard with a walk to start the 7th. Connor Giusti's spot is up. And there he is. He looked back to the dugout for a second, but he will hit for himself. That is a combined 8th walk issued by CornBelters pitching to go along with a couple of hit batters. Obviously, it's numbers you don't want to see, but it has been kind of common. Throw over the first, not in time. But the walks are not what opened up the scoring. That was just the LumberKings hitting the ball all over the yard. If anything, though, they could have put up a lot more runs early. It was only 2-1 going into the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch is a little inside to Giusti. As Banker snaps the ball back, a bit frustrated he didn't get that call. There have been a few pitches where I've thought Swallow has squeezed some of the Belter pitchers. That's not the reason for the score by any means. And the next one is swung on and missed. Normally when I tell Andre some of my classic kind of funky tales on the road, and I've basically lived on the road at times for the past 3 years, going from pig racing to baseball seasons in the winter and summer. Down low, 2-1 the count. Normally he gives a reaction that resembles, "Oh, my child, what kind of trouble are you getting yourself into? This truly cannot stand. As entertained as I am, you need to do better. I need to set a better example for you." And he sets a very good example, Andres does. Fouled out of play, 2-2. But that story, he showed more concern. It's like, my goodness, I am glad you are here and safe. And nothing happened. That was a different reaction than I expected from my buddy going back a couple years. I'm glad he was concerned, though. I was pretty concerned for about 2 minutes. Swing and a miss. Giusti retired, 1 away here in the 7th. That's the 3rd strikeout tonight for Banker. And Byron Blaze will bat for himself. He's lined out a couple times tonight, 0 for 3. LumberKings 9 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The CornBelters 1 run on only 4 hits with a single error. First pitch curveball is way upstairs. I mean, you could theoretically say the CornBelter offense, you could attribute it to the 4 days off, but the guys looked awesome in batting practice. They looked very confident. They were feeling very good as the pitch misses inside. And look, if you tell me before the game the way the Belts have struggled on the road, especially at this ballpark, that it'd be 2-1 going to the bottom of the 6th. You'd sign up for that all day long. As Banker's set, here's the 2-0. Upstairs again, 3-0 the count. I mean, especially with the way the score is now, you don't want to start putting guys on. He's already walked Grout. Be aggressive in the strike zone. I would think Blaze will get a green light. 3-0 will have to wait to throw the first. Grout back in standing up. Looked to be a little surprised, as I think everybody in the ballpark was on the throw over in an 8-run game on a 3-0 count. Still no movement from the flag as the humidity is picking up. Called strike on the outer half, 3-1. I might have to think about another story, especially if we go the full 9. If the CornBelter bullpen's able to restore order. Here's the pitch, and that's a little inside. Second walk of the inning issued by Banker. The free passes were all over the place early from Downing, but the CornBelter relievers have all been around the plate. So Downing walked 4. Banker's up to 3 now. But O'Donnell and Martz didn't walk anyone. Same with Altenbaumer, who went a couple innings. He didn't walk anybody either. So kind of an ambivalent night to look at it from the CornBelter pitching. At times, the bullpen was excellent, so you can take some positive away. That's a called strike to Clay Jacobs. I am definitely regretting not taking a cookie from Clay Jacobs' mom, Andrea. They were right there. They had a great design on them. They looked like they had plenty of sugar. They looked homemade on the outside corner, 0-2. Now, of course, as is the case with every team in the Prospect League, the home team does supply dinner after the game for the visiting team. So I'm not going to go hungry tonight by any means. I have a good leftover steak back in my apartment, but a cookie sounds really good. Swing and a miss as Jacobs goes down to a knee. He goes down on 3 pitches. 4th strikeout of the night for Banker. Really ramped the fastball up. Chase Womack will bat. Womack is 1 for 4. He doubled and scored his last time up. You know, something else of note. There's no shad flies tonight. Those giant pests were everywhere the first 2 times we were out. Called strike at the belt. Andres did tell me before the game that the shad fly season should be over. And they usually, well, swarm the stadium lights. And the past 2 times out here, I've had to close my window. Haven't had to close it tonight. So I'm at least getting the fresh, humid, still air across the Mississippi. Upstairs, 1-1. It is very humid right now. I went for a run earlier this morning. I think I did mention this part. The humidity got up to 90, even though it was down in the mid-60s. Good curveball, 1-2 the count. And I finished my run, and I had a very good second wind in my 7-mile run this morning. And I had a lot of shade, which made it feel even cooler. But then I got back in my apartment, and I was ready to just sit down. I got off the bus getting here, and then my legs didn't want to work. Upstairs, 2-2. I guess I need a few more electrolytes when I'm out here. Just a few more. 2-2 the count now. It's actually a pretty interesting looking building beyond the center field wall. It is a clear night, so I'm able to see much better looking into the distance. Fouled straight back. I gotta ask Andres what that building is between innings. It could be an apartment building for all I know, but there's 4 levels and they have some lights, kind of resembling a Christmas light pattern. It's the only thing that's lit up beyond the walls. Everything else is just darkness. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. First and second, and the pitch is upstairs. So Crowd will be off from second, Blaze off from first. And a ball into the alleyway could be trouble, especially with the runners on the move. because Blaze at first is the winning run. He would make it a 10-run game to end it. And the full count pitch will have to wait as Banker spins around. It caught Grout by surprise, but no one was covering second. Trying not to let him get too big of a head start. Womack potentially trying to end it here. The 3-2, the runners go. Swung on and missed. Banker able to pick up 3 strikeouts this inning. He's up to 5 in an inning and 2/3 of work. As Brady goes to take his rosin bag off the mound as he signals to the umpire. So he leaves 2. The game does remain alive. We'll head to the top of the 8th. The LumberKings still lead 9-1. We're back for the top of the 8th, folks. And we have a litany of changes for the LumberKings in the field. Ian Dittmer takes over on the mound in relief of Zach Volker. Ben Swales is the new third baseman. Chase Womack moved from second base to shortstop. Jaden Hackbarth comes off the bench to play second. And Gage Frank is the new right fielder in for R.J. Sherwood. I'm pretty sure that rounds things out. Will Jeske will bat for himself. He's 0 for 2, getting hit by a pitch in the first. Right on right, the matchup. There are a couple of guys throwing in the CornBelter bullpen, but one, if not both of them, could just be getting some work in. 0-1 the count, the pitch a called strike. I was able to think of a very wholesome story between innings. And this involves the pig racing, but the pigs themselves are not the storyline here. Curveball outside, 1-1. And this was at a very familiar spot of mine to call the pig race, is that Pumpkin Farm 30 miles north of Sacramento, and I've been there twice. It's a 2-month event that goes from the first weekend after Labor Day through the first weekend of November, as that one's popped up to the left side out of play. Now 1-2 the count. And the two seasons I've worked at this pumpkin farm are the first 2 times the All-Alaskan Racing Pigs have ever been invited to this location. So over the course of the weekends, and we got into early October on this specific day, as the 1-2 pitch is outside. And I had some good conversations after the shows when I get to when I get to do the pictures with Strawberry and sell the merchandise of people who were happy to see me again, second time in a row, and telling me about how they're doing their picture with Strawberries. The pitch is fouled at the plate, and they're going to make that a yearly thing, which of course you love to hear. But then the recency of actually coming to this spot tells me that any time in a show that I see someone in the crowd with any kind of pig merchandise, it means that they have been here before and they have seen me call the show specifically, because I called every show, every day we had it, both of those first 2 seasons. And the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Jeske down on strikes, 1 out here in the 8th. Judah Morris will be the hitter. First strikeout of the night for Dittmer out of the bullpen. And this is at the end of my show. This is the field trip. Once we get into late September, then every weekday through the end of October, we have these huge field trip shows, anywhere from 2 to 4 in the morning, as Morris takes the first pitch outside. Let's see. And there's a lot of kids, and boy, they are loud. They are arguably the loudest crowds that we get. Even on the weekends, when we do get some pretty good crowds. And we got to the point where I'm picking the 4 rooting section leaders to root on the 4 pigs in the championship. 1 for each pig. Outside, 2-0 the count. Dittmer with a couple bad misses to Morris. And I go to the far right side of the grandstands, and I go to pick my first person, and I do something very uncharacteristic. Normally I'd pick someone in the first 2, maybe even the 3rd row, down in the way 3-0, just because it's quicker, I can see them much more easily, and then it's less time for the kid to actually come down, and then to tell me which pig they want, and for me to get their name too. Because then when I announce which pig it is in the given lane, I say that pig is running for whichever kid it is, whether it be Johnny or Sarah or David. Morris takes high, a 4-pitch walk. 1 out base runner for the CornBelters. Zach Zykelski will bat. But I do something very uncharacteristic, and I pick a girl who's a good 10 rows up. I cannot think of any logical reason I did this. The best reason I can think of is you had a bunch of really little kids in the front rows. As Zykelski smokes this one deep to right. Gage Frank goes back, but he has room and makes the catch right on the edge of the warning track. There's a lot of room out there towards straightaway right, but that was a good swing from Zykelski. 2 outs here in the 8th. It brings up Austin Wiegand. But I see the girl come down. Oh, anyway, what I was saying before was, I don't want to pick kids who are too little, because you need them to be old. There's a sweet spot. You don't want them to be too old where they're not going to have quite as much fun, but you need them to be old enough where they understand what you're talking about, and for them to speak clearly so I can get their name. 1-0 the count, the pitch outside to Wiegand. But as she comes down, I see that she's wearing our gray When Pigs Fly shirt. That's the lettering on it, When Pigs Fly, from a year ago, and we're still selling it. On the outside corner, 1-1. Wiegand not pleased with the call. I can't blame him. So I could tell she's obviously seen the show. And I guess it also meant with being in the first section, she knew to put her hand up quicker than a lot of the other kids. Sometimes not everybody knows, so when I go to the first one, not everyone puts their hand up right away. 1-2 the count, the pitch a called strike. 2 outs, 9-1 LumberKings in the top of the 8th. Morris at first. And then she picks her pig, and she's real excited, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be? And she has this really cute pink American flag hat on. And I pick the show goes on as normal to finish things off. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Wiegand. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Ian Dittmer. The CornBelters go down quietly. They leave 1. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. But I'll keep it right here again to make sure I finish this story. Everything's normal even through the selling process. The same girl took a picture with Strawberry the pig, who wears the pink number 5 jersey. She takes pictures after every show. She poses beautifully. I've trained 3 strawberries in parts of my 3 seasons, calling the pig races. And that all goes well. She buys a pig, and then she walks off. And I actually announced one more show, but then I take a walk with my boss. We have a little longer break. We each go to get food and some water. And we run into the same girl and her mom. And we stop and have a short conversation. And then the mom tells me, she goes, this girl and her younger brother saw a show at the field trips a year ago. And then I go to pick the rooting section leaders, just like when I picked her. And each kid also gets a ribbon, by the way. The guy with the winning pig gets a blue ribbon. Everybody else gets a red ribbon. But I picked her little brother the last time they saw my show at this same spot. And the mom told me and the brother was sitting right next to her. And the mother told me for a full year, the daughter would say, this pig, we're going to go back to the pig racing shows, and he's going to pick me, and I'm going to get a ribbon. You know, it's really cool when you hear stuff like that. It's not a guarantee that you'll hear those same stories. You get a lot of families that are kind of in a hurry, make sure they do all their fun stuff. Malachi Paplanis is also the new pitcher for the CornBelters, as he's getting loose out there to work the bottom of the 8th. But hearing that stuff is one of the happiest experiences, albeit amongst a very happy and joyful job announcing the pig race at fairs with young families. But for a full year, and I clarified with the mom and she confirmed for a full year, with very few days in between, no more than a week at least, she would talk about, and right to her brother, that announcer with the cowboy hat and the When Pigs Fly shirt is going to pick me to root on one of the pigs, and I'm going to win a ribbon. Now, her pig did not win the race by any means, but it's just one of those moments when the angels are singing and everything lines up just perfectly. And especially a situation where I do something very uncharacteristic and pick a kid who's sitting way up high in the bleachers. Absolutely made my day. That's something I will always think about. I'll tell the kids about that one. I'll tell that story in future blowouts with different teams as Paplandis deals a strike to Jalen Martinez. 3-4-5 coming up here in the 8th. I'll tell that one for a long time, and it'll always bring a pure smile to my face. 1-1 the count. Or excuse me, Jaden Hackbarth is actually the hitter. He's in Martinez's spot, who came on to play right. He fouls the next one right off the mask of Sahusky. He seems to be all right. Let's see, where are you, Hackbarth? There he is. Jaden is 6 for 20 in a LumberKing uniform. A home run and 4 RBIs. 1-2 the count to open the 8th. And Paplanis' pitch is a little high. 86 on the heater that time from Malachi. There's nobody up in the CornBelter pen. There is a righty throwing for the LumberKings. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled right off the hands to the screen. Yeah, plenty of good pig racing stories. Sometimes just a matter of if I can remember some of them on the spot. I really got to start writing these down. I need to start making a long list of all the stories that I'll tell when games start to get out of hand. Outside 3-2. Pig racing stories, baseball stories, stories from being on the road throughout the past 3-4 years. I mean, I've driven across the country 5 times in that span, going from baseball team to baseball team and pig racing events. Look out! Right off the helmet of Hackbarth. His helmet ended up popping off, but thankfully he seems to be fine as he tosses this stuff aside and trots to first. Well, that was a bad miss from Paplanis, to put it lightly. Hackbarth aboard to start the bottom of the 8th. As the free passes from CornBelter pitching continue to rise. 8 walks to go with 3 hit batters. That's just been kind of a running trend for the CornBelters. Brian Bello, well, it's his spot. And a called strike. Could be Ben Swales' spot. He is the new third baseman. 0-2 the count. They have not updated the live stats. And I can't see this guy's number. Could be 14. Yep, that's Swales. So Swales behind 0-2. CornBelters look to turn 2. And the pitch is outside. The second baseman, Castro, is shaded way towards the middle. And some more good news with Castro's health. He's up to about 85 to 90% as far as running goes. Up and away 2-2, which is definitely the highest number that I've heard from him since he's come back to the lineup and has recently started playing second again. So he's moving along nicely with that. Thompson's groin is feeling good, which everyone needs a healthy groin. 2-2 the count as the pitch is hit foul. Flag has not moved a muscle since at least the 5th inning, if not even further back. It is a stuffy night out here. It's not hot, but it is very humid. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Good curveball from Paplanis. Now 1 away here in the 8th. And that brings up R.J. Sherwood's spot, but that should be Gage Frank. And it is. Frank came in to play right field last inning. So Frank is batting for the first time tonight. Frank out of Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. Hitting .079. With a home run and 2 ribbies. 1-0 the count as the pitch misses inside. .079, that's not exactly what you want. Albeit you're trying to get better. As that one's lined out to right center. Thompson Allen coming on. He's able to make the running catch. He fires back to first to try a double up. Hackbarth not in time. Boy, does Thompson Allen fly. He covers a ton of ground in center, and he went full extension, reaching out to get that one. He needed every bit of that 6-1 frame. And that brings up Cougar Cook. Cook will bat with 2 outs here. And granted, Cook, as well as the previous 2 hitters, does represent the winning run to put the 10-run rule in effect. As Cook takes a pitch outside. Well, this is my one gripe with Brett Swalf tonight. He has not been consistent with that pitch on the outside corner to lefties. It has been very one-sided with strikes going against the CornBelter hitters. Other than that, he's had a pretty good night. That's a called strike on the outside corner. And again, mind you, that is not the difference in the score by any means. Can't put that one on the umpire. Can't even really put all the free passes as the reason for the score disparity. 2-1 the count as the pitch misses low. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, 9-1 Clinton over Normal. And Hackbarth at first. 2-1 the count as Paplanis comes set. And he goes home. A slow roller up the first base line, and it'll stay foul. Judah Morris tried to let that one roll to come back. So everybody will reset. Taking a look at some scores across the league tonight. Rex Baseball beat the Du Bois County Bombers 6-3 in 10 innings. Rex has just been storming hot. Right now they lead the Central Division. 2-2 the count with 2 outs, and the pitch from Paplanis is hit way up there. Foul territory left side. Mazzetti gives a look. Let's see, tries to lunge at it, but it looks like it got a piece of the fencing. I can't tell from my angle looking across the screen and with the overhang what exactly happened there. But new life for Cook. Rex won 10 in a row, dating back to the first half. They lost a game recently, late to Danville. They split back-to-back home-and-home series with them. But Rex has been a tough out lately. Swing and a miss by Cook. That retires the side here in the 8th. No runs, no hits, and a man left. We'll head to the top of the 9th. The last chance for the CornBelters, trailing 9-1. Welcome back to the CornBelters and Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. 9-1 LumberKings. The CornBelters are down to their final 3 outs, in jeopardy of losing their second consecutive game. Brown, Sahusky, and Mazzetti are the scheduled hitters. Cade Turner takes over on the mound, just trying to get some work in. So the CornBelters are in line to snap their 3-game losing streak, all of them at the hands of the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. But going back to the league-wide scoreboard, the Full Count Rhythm are on top of they beat the Cape Catfish 7-2. The Aviators beat the Champion City Kings 4-2. The Chillicothe Paints beat the Johnstown Millrats 8-7. We'll see Johnstown from near Pittsburgh make the trip out to us as Brown scalds this one deep down the left field line, just foul as it hit high off the padded wall down there. Well, Brown turned on a first pitch heater and that was smoked. Oh wow, Rex Baseball had a doubleheader today and they beat the Bombers a second time 4-3. So with the way Rex is going, and Normal's not playing bad by any means out of the stretch for the second half, but they're going to need Rex to either slow it down or us to really pick it up to keep pace with them as Brown fouls it out of play to the right. Connor Giusti gave it a look. The O'Fallon Hoots are on top of the Alton River Dragons 17-7. The River Dragons have just been allowing a ton of runs lately. The Bees beat the Thrillville Thrillbillies 5-4. The Jackson Rockabillies are on top of the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes 8-3. Illinois Valley's beating the Dans 4-0 in the top of the 9th. That doesn't help us at all with Danville winning the first half. The 0-2 pitch to Griffin is fouled straight back. And another doubleheader. Catfish and Full Count Rhythm are scoreless in the top of the 6th. Granted, this entire, I don't know what you call this region, Missouri Valley, Illinois Valley, This part of the Midwest has had a ton of rain over the past week, and there have been a lot of rainouts across the Prospect League. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball and a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Brown, not a fan of it. I would agree with him. That pitch was outside, and I think that's one of those where dinner's starting to get cold for the home plate umpire, Brett Swalve. But that is bound to happen, especially in a game that is kind of out of hand. Chris Sahusky will be the hitter. As Turner comes set, he works out of the stretch exclusively. Let's see, I'll take a look at the standings. First pitch to Sahusky is a curveball up high. The LumberKings come into play only leading the Bees and Lucky Horseshoes, who have been awful. They were awful in the first half by a half game. The Bees and Lucky Horseshoes come in at 4-4. Grounder towards third, handled by Swales across the diamond in time to retire Sahusky. 2 up, 2 down in the ninth, and Alex Mazzetti will hit. The CornBelters down to their final out. Mazzetti singled his first time coming off the bench tonight. So the bullpen from the LumberKings vacates towards the dugout. The CornBelters guys are just standing on top of the mound out there, and a curveball taken for a called strike to Alex. As the fans start to get into it now, some extra claps going across the crowd. It's been a quiet crowd virtually all night, other than some of the extra base hits. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Mazzetti behind 0-2. 2 outs, the base is clear, top of the ninth. Turner already set on the mound, just waiting for Mazzetti to dig back in, and he does. 0-2 the count. Cade comes set, a deep breath, and he goes home. Curveball right down the middle for a called strike 3. Mazzetti knew it. Cade Turner works a 1-2-3, top of the ninth. He picks up 2 strikeouts, and for the third time here at this ballpark, the Clinton LumberKings dominate over the CornBelters. This one by a score of 9-1. It was a 2-0 game going into the 6th, despite all the walks early. Zach Zykowski had a home run to make it 2-1. Then 7 runs for the LumberKings ended up coming across, and that was the difference. Home runs by Jalen Martinez and R.J. Sherwood, along with a triple from Rafe Peterson. The LumberKings, wearing their Helotes Giants uniforms, snap a 3-game losing streak. They move to 21-15 this summer. The CornBelters lose their second straight. They fall to 17-19 as the road struggles do continue. 9 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the LumberKings. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the CornBelters. Well, that's it for us here in Clinton, everyone. I'm Evan Schmeiser, 9-1 LumberKings. We will be back on our Prospect League TV station tomorrow night. The Belters will be back in the friendly confines of the Corn Crib. The old Fallon Hoots will come to time. A 6:30 first pitch. Pre-game show. Actually, there won't be a pre-game show tomorrow. It's just going to be me tomorrow night once again. So if you guys end up hearing any stories tomorrow, hopefully it's because we continue the stretch of dominating teams at home. CornBelters go down 9-1. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Signing off from Nelson Core Field in Clinton, Iowa.